heads to South Beach. Plus,
I want winners.
I like over 7.5 runs in Padres Braves.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
I like Portugal and Uzbekistan over 2.5 goals.
I know it's true.
And then I like the Norwegians plus 130 on the money line.
Wait a second. Holland again. Scores again. That's what he does. And makes it look like selling peas.
What did he say? From the studios of San Diego Sports 760 in the zone with Fletch and Sammy.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it going on a Tuesday. What's happening, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. Sammy will keep it rolling after that from 2 to 3. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your drive home. And this is one of the rare instances where if Sammy Long would have listened to me, we would have all been winners today, but the Padres get a 1-0 win. The over-under set at 7.5. So it's tough to be disappointed in a Padres win, but just it's disappointing the outcome of the final score of the Padres win.
Very frustrating. Night. I mean, I'm out here calling Galazzo winners left and right and trusting in Erling Haaland, trusting in Cristiano Ronaldo. And I had a little more faith in the Padres and Braves offense. It's big time that the Padres got the win yesterday, but it would have been nice to see it 8-0 and not 1-0.
National TV game back in San Diego. Michael King on the mound, who has been very good at Petco Park this year. Everything was pointing under. Sammy went for the over. Can't blame him. But
I'm sorry for having faith in the Padres offense after the weekend. But hey, they got the win.
Right now. The Padres offense is where you're putting your faith. That's the dumbest bet I've seen all year. But we'll talk plenty about the Padres game. Huge news in the NBA. We'll get to it all, including the NBA draft coming up tonight. Kevin Acee will be joining us at 1:30. If you would like to ask Kevin some questions, feel free to load up the text line 70470. Start your message with team. We will go through all of them with our Padres insider Kevin Acee coming up at 1:30 today. With all that being said, Sam, you ready to have a great show?
I am ready to have a great show.
Are we going to get some good picks today out of you?
Oh yeah, we have some absolute FIFA winners because my record so far has been impeccable. So my soccer record so far. And of course, we have some NBA draft locks tonight. We're going to have an edge on the casino. This is where the sports books do not want you to bet on the NBA draft or the NFL draft. We got some inside scoop coming up at 12:45.
I'm sure the casinos don't want you to bet.
No, they're scared. They
would hate for you to spend your money betting on the NBA draft tonight. Our buddy Rich checking in on YouTube early today says, plus no Acuna last night. Everything pointed to the under. Rich actually texted me in the middle of the game. I think he was there. And he was like, wow, Sammy really didn't listen when you said Michael King was good at Petco Park.
Listen.
Michael King, who turned in his performance of the year so far.
He's fantastic.
God, he was phenomenal last night. 5 strikeouts. Didn't really use a lot of pitches. I thought he was going back out for the 8th inning last night. But Michael King was terrific. Padres get the 1-0 win. Easy does it. Keep doing that over the next couple of weeks, and we'll be pretty happy with what comes out of it. That would set you up nice for the trade deadline.
They got the win. That's all that matters. Rich is right. Ben Fletcher was right. I should have went with the under. I overthought it. Trust me, we will not be betting overs on Padre games anytime soon. We have learned our lesson last night.
We'll get back to the Padres in a bit. But the news of the day really was the news of yesterday. We assumed it was going to happen. It comes down late last night. Giannis Antetokounmpo is heading to the Miami Heat. So
South Beach.
We talked about this a lot yesterday. We kind of went over the pros and the cons versus the Heat or the Celtics. And ultimately, from what I've seen today, is this really came down to the Bucks. And the Celtics maybe didn't offer up enough young players. Jaylen Brown was going to be part of the deal. And the Bucks decided to go with the absolute plethora of picks and players they got from the Miami Heat instead of getting an already superstar in the NBA and Jaylen Brown to come over in the deal with the from the Celtics. So the Bucks, I think, look fantastic on the outside of this. Miami has their next superstar on the outside of this. I would say good trade for both sides, but I think
agree.
The question of today is Giannis going to get another NBA championship, and is Miami the place for him to get it? And that's kind of where we'll start the conversation, because that's what matters in the NBA, right? You look at the stars, and Giannis Antetokounmpo certainly fits that mold. So Giannis Antetokounmpo staying in the East, going to the Miami Heat, who have championship pedigree, who've won championships with LeBron, who have won championships with D Wade. Is this the next iteration of the Miami Heat that can be competitive for a championship, maybe as soon as next year?
Yes, next year we'll see how they outfit this roster, because they kind of gutted it to get Giannis. But in terms of the trade, I think it's a real win for both sides.
I mean, 3 first-round picks is gutting it. Tyler Herro is gutting it. That's crazy.
Well, Tyler Herro, Khalil Ware, Yakachonis, Jaime Jaquez. This is what made the Heat special the last few years. They're pairing him and Bam. They're going to lose Norman Powell in free agency because they're going to get priced out on him. So they're lacking big time guards right now. Now with Bam Adebayo and Giannis, it's going to be a great defensive team. It's going to be hell for people to deal with in the front court. I mean, this is going to be a tough out in the Eastern Conference. We'll see how they outfit it. But the reason why I say yes, why I do think Giannis wins a ring in Miami is Pat Riley. We give Sam Presti, the Oklahoma City GM, all the credit in the world like he deserves because what he's been able to build in OKC through the draft. Well, Pat Riley has done it just as good or not, if not better over the years, whether that was with the Lakers or Miami, attracting stars and building and developing talent. I mean, Pat Riley put this team together to where the Miami Heat were in the finals against the Lakers. They were in the finals against the Nuggets and frankly had no business being there. I mean, it was Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and a bunch of guys, but they developed Harrow, they developed Jaquez, Duncan Robinson at the time. This is an organization with him and Eric Spoelstra that know how to develop young talent. So now you have your tentpole pieces and Bam in the Greek Freak. I promise you a guard is going to want to come play alongside these guys because the amount of open looks they're going to get is going to be through the roof. And then I think on the Bucks side of things, it is smart to go with the deal with more draft picks, more young players versus going with Jaylen Brown because although Jaylen Brown's a star, it's not like the Bucks are in a position to win. So might as well go with the young talent and draft picks where you can build for the future.
Now, the Tyler Harrow thing is interesting. I think a lot's been made out of the fact that he played high school basketball in Wisconsin, and this is a bit of a homecoming for him. Tyler Harrow has also been living in Miami for the last few years. Like you're talking about going from there to back home. So I do think part of the equation for the Milwaukee Bucks was that Jaylen Brown may have come over and then immediately in a couple of years asked to leave, or maybe as soon as next year asked to leave. The Tyler Harrow situation, are we positive that's not going to be that different? Like I understand.
They're talking about maybe trading him.
Right. And that might be the way to go. Look, we're talking about two polar opposites. The Milwaukee Bucks, not necessarily a free agent destination. Miami, huge free agent destination, which is a large part of the reason why Giannis wanted out. Giannis gave Milwaukee a championship. Giannis is going to go try to get one somewhere else. So let's ask that on the talk back today. Do you think Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's 31, is he 31?
31, yeah.
31 years old, Giannis Antetokounmpo, does he win another NBA championship, this time with the Miami Heat? Hit us up on the talkback, Mike. We'll pick a random one at the end of the show for a pair of tickets to go see Britt Floyd at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Amphitheater on July 11th. Sammy, let's get to the big three of hour number one. We got a lot to get to. Go ahead, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
Jay Silves checking in on YouTube. I believe that is the Portugal flag. And yes,
Jay Silves, a big Cristiano fan.
Cristiano Ronaldo got a lot of people off his back today. Now, I will say I saw a better earlier today, had the final leg of a 4-leg parlay up in this game. And it was for Lionel Messi, Mbappe, what's the Erling Haaland, and Cristiano Ronaldo, all to score 2 goals. And it cashed during this Portugal.
What was
game.
the odds on that?
Crazy. It was nuts. And he put down like, I think it was $25 and it was to win hundreds of thousands of dollars. So congratulations.
Speaking of Cristiano Ronaldo, that's where we're going. Cristiano Ronaldo, 2 goals today. Portugal puts on a show against Uzbekistan 5-0. Now, what everyone's talking about. So Cristiano Ronaldo was.
Did you see him looking to the camera after the game, shouting out, "I'm back, I'm back."
Yeah, that's.
You beat Uzbekistan, dude.
Okay, but it is Cristiano.
It's Uzbekistan. Come on.
There is a possibility that Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo could meet in the quarterfinals in Kansas City with a shot to keep going on in this tournament. Would that be the most exciting match of the tourney? Argentina versus Portugal, or do you think there's another potential matchup between stars that would eclipse that?
I mean, yes, that is because of the name recognition, because they have been the 2 biggest stars of soccer in our lifetimes. I would say, for me personally, U.S. versus England would take the cake. I think that that's a cooler story because it's not just a rivalry between soccer teams. It doesn't just have the Flo Balogun story behind it. But this is the 250th birthday of the United States of America this year. Why did we have a birthday in the first place? It was because we were under English rule. Like that it goes beyond sports in that one. So that would be the one for me. But for the world of soccer, yes, Ronaldo versus Messi, there's nothing topping that. Even though I don't even think it'd be that good of a game. Like I feel like Argentina would kind of mop.
I don't know. I mean, Argentina is all their goals have been scored by Messi.
Hell yeah, he's not stopping. How many goals does Messi
Portugal's
have?
got a really good
against
backline.
Uzbekistan.
This is right. Selfishly, like just from a obviously pulling for Team USA, it would be Team USA versus England. I think that would be an absolute blast. I think a Team USA versus France. Team USA versus England has the Balogun storyline. If he could have played for England, chose to play for the US, could the US finally get over the hump? I think anything with France and Mbappe's played in the last 2 World Cups, one in 2018, lost to Messi in 2022. So anything with him is going to be a star-making performance. France and Norway actually meet later this week, Holland versus Mbappe, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, Ronaldo and Messi, we talk about LeBron Jordan. We talk about Brady, Mahomes, Montana. Everyone wants to talk about a GOAT debate. This is, in soccer, the GOAT debate. And the one thing that Messi has now over Ronaldo is he has a World Cup. So if Ronaldo were to beat Messi and advance and possibly win a World Cup, that whole conversation changes. So that would be electric, whether you're a big soccer fan or not. That would be must-watch television.
You know what I love about our text line? We started talking about 2 different countries, and it just got flooded with USA. So good for you, text line.
Amen, text
Appreciate
line.
you.
70470. Start your message with team.
What's next, Sammy?
NFL. Big news today came down. So the NFL will not be holding a supplemental draft for Brendan Sorsby. So the whole story, Texas Tech quarterback gambling on his own team years ago and was denied access to be playing in the Big 12 with Texas Tech. So he said, screw that, I'm going to the NFL. Well, the NFL will not be holding a supplemental draft to have him in the NFL this year. Now, we can enter the NFL draft next year in 2027, but that's going to be a draft class with Arch Manning, Dante Moore, all the big-time quarterbacks next season. What do you make of the league not allowing Sorsby to be a part of the supplemental draft?
So after a little bit of reading on this, when I saw this news come down, I found out that the NFL is under zero responsibility to hold NFL supplemental draft. They don't have to do it. In fact, it's been increasingly rare over the years. It only comes into play when they find an eligible college player that was not eligible for the NFL draft, but could be eligible shortly thereafter. This is the NFL, their version of also punishing Brendan Sorsby. That's what I'm seeing. So you remember the conversation when Harbaugh was leaving college, and it was like, oh, well, will the NFL have any sort of punishment for Jim Harbaugh for all the cheating scandal that was going on at the college ranks? Well, they didn't. They are punishing Brendan Sorsby, and this is their way of doing it. So rather than every NFL team having an opportunity at bringing in a quarterback who could be a top 10 draft pick, they are saying, no one's getting him for cheap. We're going to send him back. He's going to have to sit a year, go back to the NFL draft the way everyone else does. I am curious if this just resets the conversation about the Supreme Court. Is there now going to be, is the NCAA going to force them to make a ruling? Could he potentially still play for Texas Tech this year? There's a lot up in the air with this still. I'm fascinated to see how it goes. It's been great drama.
It has. Sorsby, look, this is the NFL flexing its muscles. The NFL does not need Brendan Sorsby. The NFL is the top of the ratings heap. It's not even close with every other sports league. And they don't want the headache. I'm sure they're like, I don't want the headache. And right, you don't want to give teams, like, let's say Sorsby becomes a star. And you have this whole gambling narrative kind of probe hanging over him. And he's a star for Pittsburgh or the Jets or whatever team goes and gets him. There's always going to be that should he have been allowed in. And now it's going to be fun because next year he's going to be the total wild card. He's not playing in college football this year. He was supposed to be a potential first round pick next year, but with Dante Moore, Arch Manning, Maava, Sellers, I mean, this is going to be a loaded quarterback class next year where 7 to 8 guys might be ahead of him. So the Sorsby drama, will a team take a risk on him considering how good the draft class is and knowing they don't have to have the headache of a player who has the gambling probe behind him? So this is interesting. It's smart of the NFL. Probably they just don't want the PR headlines, but Brendan Sorsby, man, it's crazy the downfall this guy has had in the last couple months. Maybe a late round pick next year and he'll end up being a star, but will certainly be a storyline to watch.
Infamous is what it is. Number 3 about pods.
Yep.
We'll get to them on the other side. Quick checkup on the text line, 858. Sammy, the Heat don't play in South Beach. They're downtown over the bridge. Very close, but not there.
Oh, okay.
Isn't LeBron's quote?
Everyone says I'm taking my talents to South Beach, so that's where I was going off of.
Yeah, nope. I'm right there with you, Sammy. You're not silly on this one. But text line, thank you for the intel. 619, Giannis has a better chance of winning than Uzbekistan, but not much more. 760. You guys going to watch the PFL this weekend? I'm out of town, but I did see that there is going to be some awesome fights here in San Diego.
Yes, there is.
In fact, I believe we may be interviewing one of the fighters.
Hey,
it's a little bit of breaking news, not confirmed yet. So hopefully, I'm not wrong.
I really think like everyone talks about sporting events coming to San Diego. NASCAR did super well. San Diego needs more boxing and UFC and PFL events. Like it is a fight town. It always has been.
How sick would it be if we actually got like a UFC event in San Diego?
Big time. I don't know.
Dana, get one on Coronado Island. It looked really cool for NASCAR.
Can you imagine that?
That'd be
Petco
so
Park.
sick. 619, 0% chance Giannis even makes a conference championship. All right, that's the question for the talkback mic today. Does Giannis Antetokounmpo win another championship?
0% chance of conference championship.
This time in Miami. Does it get done? Let us know on the talkback mic. You could win a pair of tickets to go see Britt Floyd at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Amphitheater on July 11. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. If you want to win them, leave us a talkback. Padres next. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. America is turning 250 years old. It's a long time. San Diego Sports 760 is celebrating with $250,000 in cash. Listen for your chance to win $2,500 so you can take the ultimate American getaway. Maybe Yosemite, maybe New York City. How about the Grand Canyon? Got all sorts of landmarks. Win your share of 250 grand. Just listen for the keyword, then enter it at sportsst.com. Your next chance to win coming up just after 2:00 right here on San Diego Sports 760. I know the guy who's on air from 2 to 3 every day.
Who's that guy?
I don't know, but he's hot. His name's Sammy Long. He'll be on from 2 to 3 today. And you can win $2,500. We will bribe you to listen to Sammy's show.
We'll bribe you.
$2,500 coming out of Sammy's paychecks. All right, it is San Diego Sports 760. Look, big three, number 3 was going to be this. Can you live with Manny Machado's batting average, which again is the worst among all qualified hitters in Major League Baseball, for the home run total he's put up this year, which is respectable. It's actually pretty good. It's leading the Padres. What is it? He's got 14 homers on the season. The last 2 have been impactful. The one on Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night.
Yeah.
In the 10th inning yesterday, the only run scored in the game was Manny Machado home run. Look, the pop is there for Manny, which is usually the first thing to go from older guys, but clearly something else is not, because he's not getting hits unless they're home runs. So I don't know. I'm just curious about this, because I would probably lean no. I'm not accepting a 187 average,
right? Even
if he's hitting a home run every other game. Well, that'd be a different story. But are you accepting the average, understanding that Manny is still going to hit? What's he on pace for? 30 homers this year? 26 homers this year?
No, because of his contract. Look, big props to Manny last night for hitting the home run Saturday night. Hopefully he's turning a corner as a player this season. But absolutely not. I mean, you don't get paid what he gets paid to hit a home run every, once a week or once every 2 weeks, couple weeks. Like that's not what you pay Manny Machado for. And also the home run numbers look great because of how putrid the home run numbers have been for the rest of the team.
That's a great point. Like Schwarber has 29.
Right.
Manny has 14.
So it's compared to Tatis, who has 2. It's like, oh, look at Manny doing his job. Again, I'm not trying to bash Manny today. This looks like there's something that's changed over the last few days. Saturday, big moment. Last night, big moment. But like when we kind of evaluate that game last night, it's great that they got the win. And it's very exciting that we know that this team can shut down big time lineups. They did it to the Braves last night.
And look, it was a needed win. Like you needed Michael King to step up and be excellent. He was. You needed Jackson Merrill. I think I counted 3 all-star level plays in center field last night.
Huge.
Like you needed all of that to happen last night to get the win. And it felt like a big kind of buoying win for the Padres, even though it was a 1-0 game.
It did. What we're going to see over the next 2 days is they did the same exact thing at home to the Dodgers. Remember, Michael King was on the mound. Miller came in and closed it, and they got the win over the Dodgers 1-0. And then the Dodgers showed out in game 2 and game 3. This is where the Padres have shown all year that they can beat good teams one time over a 3-game set. Can you close out a series? Because it's one thing to win 1-0. I give them a lot of props for being able to have such a great pitching staff that they can shut things down. But I think everyone knows that the Braves are likely going to respond tonight offensively. You're not keeping one of the best offensive teams in baseball down for 3 straight games. Can the Padres offense win you a game? We know the pitching staff can win them games. Can the offense win them a game against a really good team? That's what I want to see tonight and tomorrow.
If we want to go one layer deeper on this, I would say the Manny Machado batting average is acceptable if it didn't translate to the entire team, which it has this year. Like the entire team's numbers offensively, 297 runs on the year so far. That's good for 29th in baseball. A 219 batting average is the worst batting average for a team in baseball. 293 on base percentage, worst. 363 slugging percentage, worst. Like their offense in general has been the worst offense in baseball this year. Having Manny Machado be the anchor that feels like it's almost holding the offense down at times is not acceptable. And so Manny Machado, sure, you could look at the home run numbers and say he's on pace for basically his career average, which is somewhere between 25 and 30 home runs a year. And that's fine, right? But it's not working if you have a 187 batting average and you're being paid like a guy who's hitting 275 on an annual basis.
Well, and you would accept that from Gavin Sheets. If Gavin Sheets was hitting his average but had 14 home runs, you go, look, for what you're paying Gavin Sheets, at least there's some pop in the lineup late. When you're talking about Manny Machado, who's supposed to be one of the best players in baseball and certainly one of the best players on the Padres team, It's great that the home run numbers are there. The batting average has to creep back up. Hopefully the last week is a sign of something, but I'm not ready to say Manny's 100% back until we see it with the rest of the series against the Braves and then against the Dodgers this weekend.
913. We really need a couple of sweep series with these Goliath teams. I can't see it happening though. I don't even know that you need sweeps.
You need to win the series. Two
out of three against the Braves, 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. This week is a huge success.
I will say you're going to have pitching advantages against the Dodgers on Friday and Sunday if the way they keep it.
I haven't looked forward. What's it looking like?
Roki Sasaki and Emmett Sheehan have both been getting touched up for the Dodgers. So outside of Yamamoto on Saturday, the Padres have a little bit of an opportunity at home to put some runs on the board. It's up to the boys to do it.
Is Dave Roberts going to do that thing he did with the last series where he switches it?
I would not be surprised.
Dude, old tricky Dave. I could see him doing that again and switching things up so that you're actually facing the best pitchers for the Dodgers when they're playing against the Padres. But good to see last night. I do think that was a huge win for the team. We'll see if they can carry some of that momentum. Look, you're getting the Braves at a good time. They have been one of the best teams in baseball this year, but without Acuna, that's such a huge part of their lineup that is just missing right now. So maybe the Padres can take advantage of it. You take 2 out of 3 against the Braves, 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. This week, I will have nothing to complain about, I promise. That would be massive. All right, quick break here. NBA draft is tonight. Who knew? Maybe we'll get you some insight on where to bet. Coming up next, it's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Sport sponsored by rockauto.com. Giannis traded to the Miami Heat, headed down south from Milwaukee. Milwaukee will be getting back Tyler Herro, Khalil Ware, Yakachunas, as well as Jaime Jaquez Jr., plus 3 first-round picks in his second-round pick a few years from now, and a pick swap. Big haul going back. Also in the NBA, Julius Randle traded the Brooklyn Nets in part of a 3-team deal with Nick Claxton going to the Chicago Bulls. Out of the World Cup today, Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo puts on a show. Ronaldo gets 2 goals. Portugal wins 5-0 over Uzbekistan. We got England, Ghana coming up at 1 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, Panama and Croatia. And at 7, Colombia and the Congo will be playing at night. And the Padres get going at 6:40. Game 2. Griffin Canning will be on the mound after the Padres 1-0 win last night over the Atlanta Braves. Grinding and squealing our sides, it's time for new brakes. Skip the hassle of searching for the right parts and shop rockauto.com. Find trusted name brand parts at lower prices and have them shipped directly to your door. All the parts your car will ever need, Rock Auto.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. 913 on the text line, just talking about how tough the Padres schedule is. We went over that a lot yesterday, but man, it doesn't get easy for about a month for the Padres. It goes Braves, Dodgers, Cubbies, Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Blue Jays. I think I have that right.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
You could argue those Cubs and Diamondback games are probably the most important.
They're massive. I think the Padres have a 3-game lead on the D-backs right now. I think that's right.
Well, it's hard because all those teams are within for that last wild card spot 1 or 2 games of each other. So any series can really swing anything. This is a big week. It's like we've seen the Padres get wins over the Dodgers, over the Cubs, the Braves last night, which is great. Can they close out a series win? There really is no excuse at home to not win the series against Atlanta. They need to win one of the next 2 games.
Now, we talked a lot about the Giannis move to the Miami Heat at the beginning of the show today, but we didn't really focus at all on the Julius Randle move. I'd love to get Sammy's thoughts on that. But our talkback question for the day is, does Giannis win a championship with the Miami Heat? Give us a little bit of a reason why. You're in the running to win a pair of tickets to go see Britt Floyd at the Cal Coast Credit Union Open Air Amphitheater on Saturday, July 11th. Leave us a talkback on the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Tap the little red microphone icon. You can win a pair of tickets to go see Britt Floyd. But Sammy, Julius Randle moving over to the Nets. Is this who's winning this one?
I think the real story here is actually Austin Reeves, because Julius Randle going to the Nets and Nick Claxton going to the Bulls, and it's part of a kind of a salary cap dump for Minnesota, who then ended up signing Ayo Dosunmu to a 5-year, $112 million deal. It's the Lakers must have been throwing a parade last night, because the Nets and the Bulls were 2 teams that were supposed to be in on Austin Reeves and could offer him a max level salary, 4 years, $178 million. That were kind of the competition for the Lakers if the Lakers wanted to take a pay cut. Well, now both of those teams cut in their cap space, which I think is telling us a lot that they don't think that they're going to get Austin Reeves. The one other dark horse team is Detroit, who might be looking for a running mate with Cade Cunningham. I don't know if they have all the cap space to pull that off. So the Lakers kind of are like, now the whole, can Reeves take a pay cut, because Randle now is with the Brooklyn Nets and Claxton's with the Bulls. The Lakers kind of came out big winners last night, but Claxton will help the Bulls. He's a really good center. And Randle, man, it's kind of a tough to be sent back to New York when you were a Knick. The Knicks win the championship, and then you get dealt to Brooklyn, the ugly sister right next door.
He's had kind of a rough go of it throughout his NBA career. It's hard to feel bad for an NBA player who's making that much money, but Julius Randle seems to have gotten shafted a few times. All right, NBA draft tonight. It's so funny. Sammy and I were talking about this during commercial break, but like the NFL draft takes over for sure weeks of our headspace. And when we
100%.
look forward to it, it's breaking down everybody. You got guys who literally their job year round, Mel Kiper, Daniel Jeremiah, is like kind of forecasting what's going to happen in the NFL draft. NBA draft, we get a couple good days out of it. We really do it. It's 2 rounds. It's not long. It feels like it's here and it's gone immediately. And really after the first 5, 6, 7 picks, it's like the NBA draft becomes a little bit irrelevant. Now, what makes this year's NBA draft special is that the Washington Wizards have not hinted at all who their pick is going to be. There's two guys at the top. We assume it's going to be one of them. The forecast has been AJ DeBonsta from BYU is going to be the number 1 overall pick for a while now.
He's the betting favorite right now too.
But we'll see. Washington's kept it very close to the chest, which good for them. The other option being Darren Peterson out of Kansas, who was phenomenal when he was playing, but obviously has some issues in terms of motivation to play. It seemed like in his last year at Kansas. Now, some of the other names on here, excellent players. Cam Boozer out of Duke, phenomenal. He's projected right now to go number 3 to the Memphis Grizzlies. Caleb Wilson, the kind of power forward from North Carolina.
He's going to be really good.
Dude, terrific. And when you talk about NBA body, he may have the best one out of anybody.
Had he not gotten hurt and had a broken bone in his hand early on this season at North Carolina, he might be in the conversation for the number 1 pick right now.
Wildly skilled. You could tell once he gets 10, 15 extra pounds on that frame, he is going to be a problem in the NBA. But Sammy, I'll go to you. Number 1 overall pick tonight, Washington Wizards. What do you think? I think
it's probably DeBonsta because it's the safe pick, especially when you're building around. I would pick Peterson because if I want the number 1 pick, I want upside. I want.
Don't you think the Jazz would be kind of stoked if DeBonsta's the number 1 pick?
I think because they're like, DeBonsta's a great player. He's going to be very good. I don't see him being a bust in the NBA. And I get when you're building alongside Trae Young and possibly Anthony Davis, extremely injury prone player, and Trae Young doesn't play a lot of defense because of his frame. So getting a guy like DeBonsta and kind of do it on both ends of the floor, going to be very good. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Peterson's interesting because it's like these pre-draft interviews are going to tell us a lot because if it's off pure talent, I would go Peterson. Peterson looks like the best player at his peak. I think he's better than anyone in this class. He also destroyed AJ DeBonsta at Allen Fieldhouse earlier on this year, but the whole not playing, that could have been his family holding him out of games, knowing he's going to be a top pick anyways. So don't risk getting injured at Kansas. But it was certainly kind of an odd situation how KU actually played better when he was off the floor metrically. But Darren Peterson's probably the best one-on-one player in the draft class. So doesn't have a lot of assists, but can score at will. He is the wild card. But even like, I think what makes this NBA draft a lot more interesting than previous NBA drafts, like Peterson and DeBonsta 1 and 2, you can debate that who you would want. Boozer was a great player. I worry about his upside a little bit, but like Keaton Wagler, Darius Acuff, this lottery really goes 12 to 14 players deep of potential impact players, and that's usually not the case in the NBA draft. Usually it's top 5 or big impact players and then kind of shots in the dark. This NBA draft, we might see some big movement tonight because the next couple drafts, because there's so many good players coming out in this draft, figure to not be as talented in the next 2 years. So you could see teams sending a lot of picks tonight, trying to move up to get a franchise star.
Now, something I always keep an eye on is guys the Aztecs played a year ago, and you're going to see a lot of them tonight in the NBA draft. You talk about all 3 of the bigs from Michigan will be on the draft board tonight. Yaxel Lenderborg, Mara, and the one other guy.
Johnson.
Yeah. And then Cameron Carr out of Baylor, who was terrific against the Aztecs. Braden Berries from Arizona is going to be drafted tonight. So kind of cool when you think about the year that was for San Diego State. All these guys they played against now going to be drafted tonight.
I wonder too, when you're like evaluating those teams, like if you're evaluating Michigan, Arizona, these rosters that are stacked with talent,
sure.
Like Burries had Koa Pete and Michigan just had an all-star roster. It's kind of what knocked Stephon Castle back in the draft a few years ago, UConn. Like Stephon Castle was unbelievable at UConn, but people kind of took it with a grain of salt. It's like you're playing with Klingon, you're playing with this all-star cast and Hurley at the helm, and then Castle ends up being a star. I like Dusty May now at Dallas, who has the number 9 pick. Does he go with the Michigan player?
That's a great point.
Who does he value as the best Michigan player? Because when you're playing with so much talent, it's tough to figure out if these guys are actual stars or if they're just the benefit of a collective great team.
As a matter of fact, Nate Ament out of Tennessee, who was their superstar freshman, kind of strong forward last year. He's the projected pick at number 9. I do wonder if that becomes Yaxel Lenderborg, right?
Or something
who has
like
that NBA ready body, who's kind of the super athlete, who by the way was hurt a majority of last season. It was still terrific at the college level. So we'll see. There is some intrigue to tonight's NBA draft. If you want intrigue in terms of green, dollar bills, you can bet on tonight's NBA draft, and we will be doing exactly that coming up next on Long Shots at San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. Hey, it's Fletch for the Valley View Casino and Hotel. I told you all about the Cash, and More Cash event happening this Friday night. But how about on Saturday night? It's the Cash is King event every month during the Cash is King event. $10,000 in cash will be given away to 45 guests all night long. This Saturday night, drawings to win $200 every hour starting at 7 o'clock until 10 o'clock. Plus at 10:30, there's going to be a grand prize drawing of $400 each for 5 lucky guests. Don't miss the Cash is King event this Saturday night, June 27th from 7 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. only at the Valley View Casino and Hotel. To earn rewards while you're playing, including entries into the Cash is King event, you must be a Player Club member. Signing up is always quick, easy, and free. Plus, when you join that Players Club, you're going to get over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino. We're talking about free offers to enjoy instantly, like $10 a more play, $10 a match play, $20 to the Black and Blue Steakhouse, and the list goes on and on and on. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel this Saturday, June 27th for the Cash is King event and join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. The iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances from the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop Dogg, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Now is your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Gonna be a party out in Las Vegas. As a matter of fact, Sammy, I was talking to the guys earlier this morning, Rich and Travis, and saying, I know I was just there, but I really feel like I need another Vegas trip sometime soon. Maybe before the NFL season.
Hey, you
Perhaps.
said Vegas, I'm there.
Maybe to put an entry in for a certain contest.
Oh, well, we're definitely doing that.
Circus Survivor, we're doing it. It's locked in.
Was that even up for debate?
Okay, we're doing it. I guess we're doing it again.
We have listeners who went in on that, by the way.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is incredibly fun. I will say that on the outset. It is so stressful watching those games, understanding what might be on the line. And then when the Cincinnati Bengals screw it up for you, just makes you rethink everything in your life.
It's crazy when now Kansas City Chief, Justin Fields, game of his life for the New York Jets, decides to end our Circus Survivor. We had faith in Joe Flacco.
And it was working.
They scored 40 points.
The Bengals were up huge in that game, and Justin Fields decides to turn into Joe Montana for a half and have the best half of football of his life and come all the way back. The Bengals had a 97% chance of winning in that game. I remember it very clearly. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. The Bengals had a 97% chance of winning, and they blew it all. And now Sammy and I are not millionaires, and it's the Bengals' fault. Something that can never be forgiven, by the way.
I also want to say that, like, if you had listened to me and we would have took that Miami game over the Jets on that Monday Night Football, and you were like adamant that we couldn't bet on Tua Tagovailoa, and then they ended up winning, we would have had more options for that week. So I just want to say that
about when you were trying to pick the Rams against the 49ers on Thursday Night Football, and Mac Jones led one of the most furious games of his career to win.
We weren't going to pick that because I wasn't going to hear from Niners fans all year.
You wanted to pick that, Sammy. You wanted to. You said, we're picking this game. And I said, over my dead body. Mac Jones is about to be the Mac attack.
By the way, there's some trade rumors about your boy.
Mac Jones?
Yeah.
I saw that.
How are we feeling?
Heartbroken, but I would understand it. And we're okay with Brock Purdy being in charge. By the way, Mike Evans, training camp footage. Oh my God. Oh my God. 1,300 yards for Mike Evans. 25 tutties.
1,300 yards.
MVP season from the wide receiver.
So if Baker can't get him 1,300 yards, Brock Purdy's going to get him 1,300 yards.
913. I wanted you guys to be millionaires so I could be your professional beer openers. 913. That's on the table. You
100% would have been hired.
You're on staff, baby. 619. A Cuff will be the best draft. Mark my words. Best in the draft. How do you feel about that?
A Cuff might be involved in a bet here in about a minute.
Then let's get to it. Sammy, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
913 has a question for Kevin Acey also. It says, Kevin, is Jake Cronenworth's brain ever going to recover? Any update?
That's called, we're going to sit you down for a while. You're going to have a concussion that lasts a month and a half.
It's just bizarre at this point, the Jake Cronenworth storyline of this year. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the Padres know what's going on.
Do you think Kevin would hang up if I asked him about the Padres not being forthcoming with injuries again?
Serious. At what point do we need to just, I don't know. I'm fine with Jake Cronenworth being down, by the way. And whatever loopholes the Padres are using right now to keep him down, that's fine. But to keep calling it a concussion, kind of crazy. Sammy, where are we going?
Okay, so I have an NBA draft parlay and a FIFA World Cup parlay. We're going to separate them out.
Whoa. You want to do one right now and one at 145?
Okay.
Let's do that.
All right, well, let me get my soccer one then.
Whichever one you want to do. Whichever one you feel good about.
The soccer one starts here in a few minutes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. We're going to start with England and Ghana. England minus 1.5. England.
Smash it.
We're smashing this. Look, Ghana got a goal in their last outing. Ghana's a decent team, but this English team played with a lot of poise against Croatia in that 4-2 win. Croatia tested them too. England got up early in that game. Croatia came firing back. Jude Bellingham scored. Harry Kane feels like the odd man out.
Harry Kane.
No one talks about Harry Kane. Harry Kane's one of the best players in the Premier League, and yet everyone's talking about Mbappe and Messi and Ronaldo and all these players in Holland, but no one's talking about Harry Kane, who's been a legendary player for the Premier League for a lot of years and then moved on to one of the German leagues, I believe, or Spanish leagues. But he's tremendous. He scored a couple times. He talked about how actually Messi's performance and Mbappe's performance really wanted him to press his foot on the gas to try to win that Golden Boot award for most goals scored in the entire World Cup. I think England is a drubs here, minus 1.5. You can currently get that at minus 180. I think England puts on a show and is advancing to the knockout round.
Alt spread, England, 2.5. Let's hit it.
You want to hit 2.5?
That's what I'm doing.
All right, let's hit 2.5.
Money's better that way.
Screw it. 2.5. All right, Colombia in the Congo. Colombia.
Talking about Colombia mommies?
Colombia. I wish I was at this game. Elmer's leaning over over 2.5 goals. Okay? Over 2.5 goals in this game. Colombia, they were decent against Uzbekistan in their last outing. They won 3-1. Luis Diaz has been a tremendous scorer for Colombia so far in this tournament. But they're going to press because look what Portugal did today. They're in the same group as Portugal. Portugal just beat up on Uzbekistan 5-0. Colombia wants to make sure they're advancing to the knockout rounds. I think they're not only going to win, I think they're going to put a lot of goals up on the board. And the Congo has a decent attack. I think Colombia clears just themselves. Over 2.5. They're not going to stop at a 1-0 lead or a 2-0 lead. They're going to want to try to give Portugal a run in the standings for goal differential in that next game. Because I believe Portugal right now is currently up +3 because Portugal drew in the first game, had a +5 goal differential today, and then Colombia had a +2 goal differential in their last game. So they're going to try to run this thing up over 2.5 goals at +120. All right, and then we got a fun game tomorrow. This is a pretty decent odds going back either way. We got Canada in Switzerland. Now, Switzerland is actually a slight favorite in this game. Checking in around +140, +150, depending on the sports book you're looking at. Canada is at +230. I like Canada in this game. +230. We're going with the Canadians.
Dang, dude.
Huh?
What if the Mounties get in the way?
What if the who get in the way?
The Mounties. That's their police force.
Really?
Yeah, they're on horses. That's why they call them the Mounties.
Is that a real thing? Or are you making that
I
up?
swear to God, that's real. It's real.
It's actually fascinating. Okay. Jonathan David, Davies, they've had a very good attack, had a hat trick in Canada's last game. Again, it came against a team that is not very good. Switzerland does have a pretty good attack. They've scored 5 goals through 2 games. They've generated over 5 expected goals. So there's going to be I think there's going to be a higher scoring game, but I do think Canada gets a big win here because after that draw day one, I believe it was against Bosnia, then they had a big win against Qatar in the second game. Canada needs to put their stamp on this thing, advance. The crowd's going to be rocking because they're on home soil. I like the value at plus 230 here. The Canadian attack got going in the last game, and the Swiss haven't really been able to put the ball in the back of the net despite a lot of chances recently. So we like England. We're going to go with Fletch minus 2.5 today against Ghana. That game starts here in about 5 minutes. Colombia and the Congo, I like over 2.5 goals at plus 120. I think Colombia might clear this themselves. And then I like Canada on the money line plus 230 to beat the Swiss and be advancing to the knockout rounds.
The Royal Canadian Mounted Police is Canada's national police force. They serve as a federal police agency handling day-to-day law enforcement in many rural areas and are famous for their iconic scarlet dress uniforms and cavalry heritage. They are a cross between the FBI and state police in the U.S., otherwise known as the Mounties.
I got to be honest, it doesn't feel good to, if you're a police officer on a horse,
to have the nickname Mountie.
well, no, that's a whole conversation for another day. But it doesn't feel like if you were pursuing a suspect.
Horses are fast, man.
No, they are fast. But if someone took the horse down, the person on top of the horse is going flying.
Sure. It's a tricky situation.
I don't think that helmet is going to help him out.
It's tricky. Jay Silves on YouTube. Did someone say Colombian mommies? Yes, I did. You're welcome, Jay Silves. Have fun watching that game.
Jay Sills. I know Jay Sills is going to be tapped in.
Lots of crowd shots. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. We're going to take a quick break here. Kevin Acey in hour number 2 is coming up next, live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Lowe's. Padres back tonight after getting a win over the Atlanta Braves 1-0 last night. Griffin Canning will be on the mound for the Pods. That game will be at 6:40. And then massive trade out of the NBA last night. Giannis Antetokounmpo headed to South Beach in Miami alongside Bobby Portis for 4 players going back to Milwaukee, plus 3 first-round draft picks, a future second-round pick, as well as a pick swap. Milwaukee now owns the 13th pick in the draft tonight. Speaking of the NBA draft, Darren Peterson widely expected to be the number 2 pick going to Utah tonight, where AJ DeBonso will be the number 1 per Vegas going to Washington. Shop DeWalt deals at Lowe's. Get a free select DeWalt 20-volt max power tool when you buy a select 20-volt max 5AH battery kit 2-pack, valid through June 24th. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
We will start from the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long.
That's how it starts.
The Padres make a statement versus the Braves. 7 innings and 5 strikeouts for Michael King. More tonight at Petco. NBA Draft Round 1. Giannis heads to South Beach. Plus,
I want winners.
I like over 7.5 runs in Padres Braves.
Jesus Christ on a motorbike.
I like Portugal and Uzbekistan over 2.5 goals.
I know it's true.
And then I like the Norwegians plus 130 on the money line.
Plays back at Haaland again, scores again. That's what he does, and makes it look like shelling peas.
What did he say?
from the studios of San Diego Sports 760 in the zone with Fletch and Sammy.
Hour number 2 here on San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you. Sammy will keep the party rolling after that from 2 to 3. Schaefer and Sliwa will be your drive home as we are now watching anxiously as we need England to score at least 3 goals in this game and for Ghana to score 0 goals in this game. We need this to be a bit of a beatdown for the Englishmen. And really, England, win all your games until you play Team USA. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It is San Diego Sports 760. Padres last night got a win. It was a 1-0 win. I think it was an important one. Michael King seemed to get a little bit of his confidence back. He had that look in his eyes again. Jackson Merrill in center field, terrific all night last night, really all season this year. We've talked a lot about Jackson Merrill's offense, maybe not enough about his defense, where I think he's up to 5 robbed home runs over the wall. And that play he made out in center last night, which was it Harris at bat? I think it was Harris at bat. That would have been easily a double, if not more. And Jackson Merrill leaps up to grab it at the last second after a super long run. Jackson Merrill, terrific outfielder. And you needed all of that last night. Now, the Manny Machado aspect of it is the most interesting part to me, because I think after the game last night, Manny actually did something that Manny generally doesn't do. And he talked details about what he's been going through this year offensively. Now, it's a lot easier for Manny, I would say, to go to the mic after a game like he had last night, where he hit the game-winning home run and kind of get deep into things. But this is very different from the Manny Machado who says, I don't like talking about analytics. I don't like statistics. We have too many of them in baseball. Here's what he said last night. He said, I'm not thinking about the results, just thinking about staying committed to the work that I'm doing, staying true to it, and trusting the process. Staying within yourself, staying within what you need to do with it. It goes back to trusting the process, trusting that you're putting yourself in the right positions, trusting that you've done everything you can and that you're in a good position to fire, and trusting that. When you do that, you're able to connect. When you're not trusting and you're trying to look for results, you probably just pull that pitch foul or are a little bit more anxious on it. So I think the difference in last night was that was a hanging curveball or a hanging slider that Manny Machado hit the home run on. And so far this year, the only success he's had is really on fastballs. So I think having a little different attitude maybe is something that could propel Manny a little bit here. And the home run numbers are fine, and that's great. Average, abysmal. But if Manny can get going and Tatis continues at this pace, and maybe Jackson Merrill can heat up a little bit, we are talking about a very, very different Padres team. We saw the offense come to life over the weekend against the Texas Rangers, albeit they only won 1 of the 3 games. Maybe this offense is turning a little bit of a corner, or am I too hopeful?
Well, they scored 1 run last night.
Yeah, but all the things are heading in the right direction.
I hope. I'm not willing to say.
I think they are. Eyeball test tells me they are.
I hope. I'm not ready to say that after you put 1 run up yesterday. The win goes to the pitching staff last night. That's who won that game.
And Jackson Merrill.
Yes, in the defense. But, I mean, 1 run. This is the question you have to ask yourself. Can they win series? Because we've seen this. They've beat the Dodgers this year. They beat the Cubs, all in game 1s. and they've lost the series. You have an opportunity tonight to win a series against a damn good baseball team in the Atlanta Braves and close this thing out. Does anyone think they're going to win again tonight 1-0? No.
Not 1-0, but 5-4. I can see that happening.
If the offense picks up, that's where I want to see it tonight, because the offense has to win a game. We know that the Padres with Michael King and Mason Miller and Adrian Morejon in this excellent bullpen can shut you down. That's great that that's in the Padres tool bag. But if the goal is to win a World Series and you're looking at Atlanta as a team you're going to have to go through, the Dodgers, the Phillies, whoever it is, you're going to have to go through, Milwaukee, you're going to have to go through. Can you do this over 7-game series, a 5-game series? I'm not trying to nitpick here. I give them a lot of props for winning last night, but I want to see them win a game against a really good team where the offense is the reason they win. Not because the pitching staff has an unbelievable performance, because over a 7-game set, the chances of you holding a team like the Braves to 0 or 1 runs are very minute. That may happen over 1 game, but so look, do I expect the Padres to only put up 1 run every night? No. I hope the offense, we saw it over the weekend against Texas, they started to get it going, but they also really haven't solved the problem of hitting starting pitching, because they really didn't hit starting pitching last night. Manny Machado hit 1 ball out, and it's a testament to the pitching staff. So can the Padres come back tonight or tomorrow and win a series against Atlanta, possibly go for a sweep, and then you're taking the Dodgers on this weekend, who have not been playing very good baseball, and then things start to change against the offense. But I mean, 1 good weekend of good offense, I'm not ready to go, oh, the offense is back because they won last night 1-0.
Well, here's the night to prove it, because tonight Griffin Canning is on the mound for the Padres, and he's been awful. Awful's the only word. So Griffin Canning tonight with his 6.64 ERA, 1-5 record, will lead the Padres out there tonight, and maybe the offense can do something that Sammy's looking for, that I'm looking for, and I think the entire Padres fan base is looking for. All right, let's get to the big 3 of hour number 2. Kevin AC coming up in 20 minutes. We'll talk lots of pods with Kevin. So if you have questions for him, hit us on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Sammy, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
YouTube is up. I don't know if I've said that today. At San Diego Sports 760. You can subscribe there. We got new content going up there every single day. Sammy, where are we heading?
All right, what prospect do you believe is not being talked about enough tonight in the NBA draft?
I really like the North Carolina kid. I think that he could have a huge impact for the next years in the NBA. Yaxel Lenderborg is another one, and I think he's not talked about enough because of the injuries that he was going through last year. And I think if he was fully healthy last year, you're talking about player of the year type implications. And so those would be my 2. And they're both they're slated at like 5th and 10th right now in the NBA draft, I think. So I think they could both have excellent NBA careers, and probably neither of them are being talked about enough. Everyone's going to talk about the Bonsta and Darren Peterson. This draft is a little bit deeper than those in recent memory in the NBA draft, where I see like maybe 6 or 7 long-term starters in this NBA draft, which is a little more rare.
It is rare. I think that's what's so important about this draft tonight is if you're at the bottom of the lottery, just having a lottery pick means a lot tonight. Whereas you, in years past, you really needed to be in the top 5 to think that you're going to be getting a difference maker. I got 2 guys. I think Michael Brown Jr. and Darius Acuff. I think they're going to go, before the in the top 10 tonight. Michael Brown Jr. is a fantastic player out of Louisville. Had a couple really big games for them, and that Louisville program started to turn around and hasn't really gotten the looks. And Acuff's getting docked in the draft from Arkansas because he doesn't play a lot of defense. Well, neither do a lot of guys in the NBA. And Darius Acuff is probably the best pure scorer in the draft outside of Darren Peterson, and you could argue against Darren Peterson. That's how good Darius Acuff is. He didn't have a lot around him at Arkansas. He's coming from John Calipari coaching him. Very talented coach. I think some of these teams that are going to take these guards that, yes, maybe have some defensive flaws, things like that, are going to end up with very talented players. And tonight, there's just, and then you also kind of get into what Michigan player stands out. Is it going to be Mara? Is it going to be Lindeberg? Like what player on these teams that are supposedly stacked, like Arizona, is going to go the highest tonight? I think we're going to see a lot of trade action in the bottom of the lottery.
Who next?
All right, let's go to the trade that didn't happen last night. Jaylen Brown was thrown out there. So the deal that the Celtics proposed to the Milwaukee Bucks was Jaylen Brown, 2 first-round picks. Now, the holdup for Milwaukee, they wanted Hugo Gonzalez and Baylor Shireman included in that, 2 very talented young players for the Celtics. The Celtics would not give up on them. A, do you think this is a mistake? This will come back to haunt the Celtics? And B, I mean, I guess Jaylen Brown's on the trade block now, because how do you repair the relationship after it's been so public that you were trying to deal him for Giannis Antetokounmpo?
You don't. And now I think that the Bucks were smart in not going for this deal from the Celtics. They wanted the young talent along with Jaylen Brown, and that's the way to go, because who knows how much longer Jaylen Brown would even be on the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Jaylen Brown is going to go for a lot, not as much as Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? So you look at where the Celtics are now, and that relationship is damned. It's done. In fact, it may have been done the second that Jaylen Brown didn't get selected to Team USA. And I know the Celtics have nothing to do with that, but the fact that he was maybe the best player on that team, definitely the best player on that team in the finals, and then that didn't happen, I think Jaylen Brown immediately started a pattern of feeling disrespected by the Celtics organization, maybe by basketball as a whole. So whoever gets him is going to be happy and probably going to get him on a bit of a discount. But I do not see any world where he is a member of the Boston Celtics game 1 next year.
I'm sure if you're Jaylen Brown, you're sitting there like, you try to trade me for Giannis. 3 years ago, you tried to trade me for Kevin Durant. Both very public. And all I did was go win you an NBA championship, and by the way, a finals MVP. And then I got slighted because I won the finals MVP, locked up Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving in the playoffs. And Jason Tatum, Derek White, and Drew Holiday all make Team USA, and I don't. I'm Jaylen Brown's like, I don't know what I got to do to be appreciated around here. I mean, he was averaging 29 points per game, keeping the Celtics in contention for that entire season last year, which basically brought Jason Tatum back from injury. Had Jaylen Brown not kept that team relevant, they would have never have risked him coming back on the floor and waited till this season. It does feel like there's some irreparable damage. You wonder if the Clippers are an option. There's a lot of teams that are going to be calling, but this adds another wrinkle, because Jaylen Brown, you wonder if he's like, I want out, but then also where is he going to go? Like, the Lakers have been thrown out there, but there's no way the Celtics are trading him to the Lakers. And how many teams have the cap space right now to acquire him?
I wonder if Jaylen Brown's a bit of a problem. And for some reason, the Sacramento Kings make so much sense for me for Jaylen Brown. Like, he just goes and kind of lives in obscurity for a while, maybe a couple playoff runs with the Kings, and that's all we hear from him. He could be a really good player the rest of his career, but I feel like he may fall into a bit of obscurity after this run with the Celtics. All right, one more, Sammy?
Yes, PGA Tours. Tiger actually makes his first appearance today.
I saw that right off the paper. Didn't answer a single question
since the DUI arrest. But the bigger news at PGA Tour, they officially announced alongside Tiger Woods, they are going with the 2-track tour in the PGA. So there's going to be 2 tours basically. One will be kind of a demotion from the top PGA Tour. They put out a press release. This is been made to find the best golfer in the world in any given season. Are we getting with the 2-track model?
I'm fine with it. I really don't think it's going to change that much of like our viewing experience. What this does is change the guys at the bottom and give people some opportunity who maybe wouldn't have had an opportunity otherwise to get moved up, and is punishment, quite frankly, for guys who don't play well on the PGA Tour and probably need to fight their way back.
That's what I like.
I don't hate it. I don't love it. I feel kind of nothing about it. I will say the most important thing that came out of the press conference today was the acknowledgement from the PGA Tour. And I think this is a direct quote. I don't have it in front of me, but he said, Tiger doesn't move the needle. Tiger is the needle that moves golf. And if Tiger wasn't behind this, it wasn't going to happen. So the fact that Tiger Woods has taken this position at near the top of like the PGA Tour's future planning committee or whatever it's called is a good thing. And it's not just that this 2-tour model is coming to a head, but also the rules around guys coming back from live golf are really starting to put into place. So I think there's an extra motivation to get Jon Rahm back, to get Bryson DeChambeau back, to get everybody back who went over. And that's what Tiger is on the forefront right now.
And I like that it will add something. It's like the Premier League, where if you're a team towards the bottom, it really matters because you're trying to not get relegated to the league below the Premier League. I do think this is fun that you do get punished for not winning just because you won a major a decade ago and haven't won anything since. you shouldn't just keep having your tour card, even though you're not playing big time golf. I'm kind of excited about it. The Corn Ferry Tour basically is this, but that's for a lot of amateurs and college guys. I think it'll be fun to kind of see the two tracks in two different courses on any given weekend.
By the way, betting on the secondary PGA Tour, whatever it ends up being called, is going to be kind of filthy because you're going to have guys fighting to get their way back. And so some extra motivation playing in some not so often.
Now we're thinking.
Like not super viewed tournaments where Vegas maybe doesn't have the best eye on it. Like imagine, I'm going to throw a name out there, like a Jake Knapp struggles at the start of next year and somehow gets demoted. He's going to be a problem on that secondary tour. So just keep an eye out. We could have some fun long shots in the future. All right, San Diego Sports 760 coming up next. We got an NFL storyline that's been percolating a little bit that I think is 2 or 3 layers deep. So let's get into it a little on the other side. Kevin Acey in 15 minutes at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. You can hear Team USA's next match versus Turkey right here on San Diego Sports 760. This Thursday, coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. The 2026 World Cup coverage lives right here on San Diego Sports 760. England and Ghana tied 0-0 right now, 22 minutes in.
Not loving that.
We're going to need England to step on it a little bit.
I need the Brits to stop worrying about tea time. Okay.
What's our guy's name? Harry Carey? What's his name?
Harry Kane.
Harry
Harry
Kane?
Kane, Jude Bellingham.
Harry Kane. Step on it. All right, boys. Come on.
484 is calling me out for pronunciation.
What'd you pronounce wrong?
He said, can Sammy be enrolled in a remedial enunciation class? Every time he says tour, it sounds like Coors. Say Cool Whip one more time.
Cool Whip. Cool Whip.
Quip.
I actually haven't noticed it, but Coors Light sounds pretty good right now.
Handyman Matt.
858. Fletch is looking way too hard into 1-0 win at home in June. Padres too inconsistent to care about them until summer's over. Well, two things to that. A, I kind of get paid to care about them for every game. So a 1-0 loss, 10-0 loss, 1-0 win, 10-0 win. I do kind of have to look too far into these. But secondly, it's not just last night. I do think that as much as we can make fun of it, the offense is on an upward trajectory. And yeah, last night was 1-0, but look at the runs put up over the weekend. I do think they're heading in the right direction. Manny's home run numbers are looking good, especially because the last two home runs that Manny hit were in huge situations. Yesterday, it was the differential. It was literally the whole of the game landed on Manny Machado's home run. The other night, it was in the 10th inning to win the game. So I think that things are looking up for the Padres a little bit right now. And a 1-0 win over the Braves, you take that 10 out of 10
Well, I think
times.
we can be happy about the win, and I hope you're right with the offense. I'm just not buying the offense when you win 1-0. And
Sure. They had 4 hits last night.
I mean,
maybe I'm looking a little too far into it.
It's like, I hope you're right. I hope tonight they win 7-4.
That'd be great.
And we're like, oh, maybe this offense did turn a corner, until the entire offense starts doing it against upper tier competition, because the Texas Rangers are one thing, the Atlanta Braves and the LA Dodgers are another thing. We'll see. I hope you're right.
Maybe it's just me. I'm just sick of being so negative about this team. So I'm going to take the wins where I can get them. All right. NFL. If you missed it, they announced today they will not be holding a supplemental draft this year. So it's kind of funny when, what was this, a week and a half ago, Brendan Sorsby and his team come out and say, yeah, you know what? NCAA can do whatever they want, putting pressure on the court system. I got an idea. I'm just going to go to the NFL supplemental draft. And Brendan Sorsby, you were mistaken, because the NFL has taken a look. They've reviewed everything, and they realize they, in fact, do not have any eligible players that they would like to use the NFL supplemental draft for. So Sorsby will not be in an NFL uniform next year. I don't know that he can even be in a Texas Tech uniform next year, if I'm being honest. It's done. It's over.
It's
once you qualify or you announce that you're going.
They're going to appeal, but it's going to happen after the season. So
right, but I thought that was the whole thing where he'd have to sit out the first 2 games, which was the punishment that the team decided, and then he's good to go.
Right, but then the Big 12 ruled against it. So the Big 12 is not playing around. They don't want this hanging over their heads. And also, the Big 12 knows that Texas Tech was supposed to be one of the best teams in college football next year. So the last thing the Big 12 needs is Texas Tech to go out there and be playing in a national championship game, and everyone's going to go, should their quarterback even be allowed to be playing in this? So I think you saw that from college football in the Big 12. I think you also saw that from the NFL going, we don't want the headache of this, of him just being able to jump ship. It's ironic because Harbaugh was, cheating, a part of the cheating scandal up in Michigan, jumped to the NFL, and the NFL got a lot of criticism for not punishing Harbaugh whatsoever. Harbaugh was just able to come into the NFL with no repercussions whatsoever. I think they saw the Harbaugh situation, the criticism they got from that, and are looking at Brendan Sorsby and going, yeah, at least Jim Harbaugh we knew would be a really good coach in the NFL, so we'll take the PR hit. We're not going to take the PR hit for some kid who we don't even know if he's going to pan out in the NFL and have to hear all summer about how the NFL and gambling and all that kind of stuff.
This is their way of punishing Brendan Sorsby without punishing him. I think that the Big 12 and the NFL, even if there wasn't a conversation, they were sort of aligned on this and realized the best way to get this story out and done with is make sure he doesn't sniff a football field in 2026. Not to say he won't be highly sought after in the 2027 NFL draft. He's going to be able to have pro days with everybody else. You'll see Arch Manning pro day. You'll see Dante Moore pro day. You'll see all of them coming up next year, and he will be one of them. And so maybe he's a top 10, top 15 draft pick next year, and this storyline gets to come up all over again. also genius of the NFL. We're going to be talking about Brendan Sorsby for another year and a half. So get used to it. Kevin AC is coming up next, our Padres insider. Can't wait to chat with Kev next, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Padres get the 1-0 win last night over the Atlanta Braves on the Manny Machado solo shot. Back tonight, 6:40. Atlanta is a slight favorite on the money line. J.R. Ritchie, who brings in an ERA of 4.54, will be going for Atlanta, while Griffin Canning, who was an ERA of 6.64, will be going for the Padres. We got the NBA draft tonight. Gets going at 5 p.m. AJ DeBonsta expected to be the number 1 overall pick per Vegas odds, going to Washington. Utah with the number 2 pick will likely take the Darren Peterson after if DeBonsta goes 1. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgraded the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
Padres Report with Kevin Acee is brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Hey players, this is all yours. Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. And it's that time where every week we check in with our Padres insider, Kevin Acee. Hello, Kevin. How are you? Magnificent indeed. Kevin Acey is here talking to Padres. Now, Kev, I've been accused on the text line today of maybe looking a little too far into a 1-0 win at home when Michael King was terrific and Jackson Merrill made some superstar plays in the outfield and Manny Machado came up clutch. But would you agree with me that it does seem like, in spite of last night, 4 hits, the Padres offense does seem to be turning a little bit of a corner here?
Yeah, a little bit of one. I mean, not where it like should be or whatever, but like so much better than it was for what 35, 37 games, which is a lot. So, people were wondering and it's getting better, but I understand it got so bad that it's like, if they don't get 15 hits, then, they're still broken. So, I mean, I totally get that because it's been terrible. And look, last night was very much about Michael King being Michael King again.
I'm curious if the team is kind of looking at the next 3 weeks with the schedule with the Braves and the Dodgers a couple times, Cubs, Diamondbacks. Are they looking at this, especially from at least management perspective, over whether they're buyers and sellers at the deadline as kind of a make or break stretch, or is that a radio talking point?
Well, we're like, so you said like 3 weeks. I mean, I would take us almost up to like that first trip after the deadline, it's not after the deadline, after the All-Star break, because really it's not going to get jumping until then anyway. And then it all comes together really quick. So, yeah, I mean, management is for sure. And look, players are aware of it. Padres aren't in a position right now to do anything except like, one game at a time and win. That's like got to be like their focus. But yeah, absolutely. Like right up until the deadline, deciding what exactly they are, how good they can be, how far they should go in terms of trying to make the team better. I think this is absolutely a crucial time.
Kevin, I opened it up to the text line today to see if they had any questions for our Padres insider, Kevin Acey, and we've gotten one theme throughout it, and that theme is what's going on with Jake Cronenworth.
Interesting. He's in Arizona taking live batting practice and could start a rehab assignment as long as, like with the concussion, he's feeling better. So in a way, like he's been cleared because he's doing live batting practice. But like, then he did that yesterday. How does he feel today? He does it today. How does he feel tomorrow? I mean, eventually he'll be out of the woods, but so 4 or 5 days of that, and then gets into a rehab assignment. He and Luis Camposano heading out this weekend or beginning of next week. And by that, I mean, Luis Camposano is going to do that, provided there's no setbacks. And I guess Jake could be if he keeps progressing.
All right, the other one we got from an 858 number, Kevin, is why have the Padres owners not been approved yet? The new owners not been approved yet. And does it have anything to do with the impending lockout of Major League Baseball?
Doesn't have anything to do with the impending lockout, like, I guess directly. They are trying to get together the entire ownership group, which was, they're pretty upfront about that from the start. Like, don't exactly know how much Jose Feliciano and Kwanzaa Jones are going to own. Is it 40? Is it 45, 47%? Who are the other owners? Are some of the people that are leaving going to keep some of their equity, or, are some people going to buy that are going to buy more? Who else is going to be involved? There's just a lot to come together. And maybe if there was like a timeline of let's get it done by June, and maybe that was a little ambitious. This is a very high profile, escrow situation, whereas like a lot of us are involved in these things that end up taking longer than we thought they would or should, and no one ever finds out about it or whatever. This is a high profile one. They're still trying to get it together.
Fletcher and I have given Craig Stammen a lot of props this year for kind of moving guys up and down the lineup. Samad Taylor batting leadoff the other day and just kind of trying different stuff despite kind of with the lackluster offense. Has that been something that is Craig Stammen's vision to kind of change the lineup a lot, or has that been a kind of a direct correlation to Mike Schilt, who wouldn't change the lineup at all the last few years?
I mean, it's something that Craig Stammen believes in. I don't know that it has much to do with Mike Schilt other than he doesn't. Craig Stammen wouldn't have done it that way. So, Craig is, man, I don't even know what to make of it. Like, it's been so much shuffling, and it certainly wouldn't have been that way if the team had performed. But yeah, he's a guy who's certainly not afraid to take everybody's information, take all the analytics, talk with Preller or Josh Stein or whoever, talk with Randy Knorr, and then decide how he's going to do his lineup. And that's one thing the Padres manager gets to do, is very much decide his own lineup.
Kev, let's talk some media scrums, because it was just a couple weeks ago where Manny Machado had the little I don't like analytics and we have too many stats in baseball. All that last night seemed very open and honest and talking about his mindset when he's at the plate. Obviously, one game he hit a home run that ended up being the difference in the game, and the other game, well, he didn't. But what have you seen from Manny Machado personality-wise, as maybe his home run numbers are ticking up a little bit, 10 points up in batting average? What's going on with Manny?
I don't know. Maybe he's getting older, a little more mellow. I don't know. Humbled to a certain extent. I don't read too much into Manny, but yeah, he's been an interesting guy this year. And I can't help but think that a lot of it has to do with that he's struggled, and that he really has had to, I don't want to say like work harder than ever, because like you guys are a hard worker during the season. But like has really had to find some stuff this year. And for whatever pushback he was given early on, like it got to the point where Manny, started to stand up and address it. And, what else could he do? Like he's talked about it. I don't know if I want to say I'm impressed or whatever, but like, yeah, it's been interesting to get some insight from Manny. But I have always, because the scrums are one thing, but like if you're around him all the time and you're willing to put up with the crap he gives you and get through, like Manny has always been incredibly insightful. Now, a lot of it isn't caught on camera. A lot of it isn't there, but like if you read, he's very, very insightful about baseball.
We have any new updates on Joe Musgrove and Nick Pivetta?
They are making progress. It's not the kind of progress that you say, oh, well, will this affect what they do at the deadline? I mean, I suppose it could if they have like this incredible confidence how these guys are going to be great in August, but I don't see none of the feedback I'm getting, and I'm actually told the opposite. There just is not going to be a way to know how good these guys are going to be and how long they can go till they come back and they do it. So like it's progress. They're coming back to pitch. When will that be? It's August at the earliest. So that's the update.
They're coming back to pitch this year?
Yes. You've not been following along? I get there was skepticism, and I don't mean to read into your follow-up question as in you're like doubting that. They are throwing all the time. They are working toward pitching this year. I can't guarantee you they're going to, but no one is like being disingenuous about this. Like you could not possibly see them working and the progress they're making and not think that the ambition, the absolute 100% intention is to come back and pitch this year.
I like it.
Absolutely.
All right, Kev, before we let you go, you were mad at yourself last week for eating calzone. Anything you're mad at yourself this week for?
Almost everything. We're at the point in the year where basically I make terrible food decisions every day.
That's good. Eat some brownies. You'll feel better about yourself. Promise you. All right, Kev, thank you.
See ya.
There he goes. Kevin Acee, San Diego Union Tribune, our Padres insider. All right, Sammy, you said you had a secondary long shots ready to go?
I do. This is, we had a little World Cup action earlier. We have a 100% NBA draft parlay. We're going to get the inside edge on Las Vegas.
Let's get to it. Coming up next at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Watch out, world. In very real news, Jake Paul has decided to make a run for the NFL.
Wait, what?
He said on a podcast earlier today that he initially thought he would just go to the Cleveland Browns or Dallas Cowboys and say, hey, sign me to an NFL contract and go play for them.
Jerry Jones might actually do that.
But now he's thinking they may want to see him play first in college. So he's going to enroll in college, try out for a college team, play college football at 30 years old, by the way, and then get drafted into the NFL.
I would enjoy nothing more.
Anthony Joshua was the fighter that broke his face in half.
Yeah.
Right?
So this is Jake Paul's logic. Get beat up.
What does Myles Garrett do to Jake Paul?
What about Fred Warner coming across the middle? Jake Paul gets the ball, open space, hit him with a cut. I mean, this would be extremely enjoyable to watch.
At this point, I'm all for it.
I'm all for it too. Get him in. First off, you want Hard Knocks to have ratings? It's the Giants, right? I believe. I believe that's who has Hard Knocks.
Has it been announced?
I think it's the Giants. Dude, get Jake Paul on that roster in minicamp. I mean, get him getting lit up.
Seattle Seahawks. I didn't even think that was possible.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought
playoff teams were exempt.
All right, well, Seattle Seahawks.
Says Seahawks will be featured on Summer's Hard Knocks while Patriots take center stage. I don't know.
Anyway, Jake Paul, this is what happens when you're not a boxer. You're not a boxer. And the crazy thing about Jake Paul, it's fun to make fun, but it's like he actually got better as a fighter. Like over all his fights, he actually worked hard at it, improved. He actually had a decent right hand. His jab got a lot better than his first couple fights. And this is what happens when you jump in against a real heavyweight.
This is bizarre that the Seahawks are on Hard Knocks. It is officially them. That's crazy.
That's odd.
They could have said no if they wanted to, which means the Seahawks want to do Hard Knocks. I didn't think NFL teams, any of them, wanted to do Hard Knocks. They were told they're doing Hard Knocks.
Right. It's always like the team that's supposed to take a jump.
Right. This will be the first time since Hard Knocks launched in 2001 with the Baltimore Ravens that the series has documented a defending Super Bowl champ. That's crazy. Crazy. Seahawks, what are you doing? You're asking for bad things. Wild. But yeah, Jake Paul, feel free to go get your ass kicked in the NFL. I would love to watch it. There's no chance he cracks a roster. This is so silly.
Well, he's not making a roster, but someone's gonna sign him to like a mini camp just for a tryout and watch him get leveled.
I need film. I need to watch that happen. I need to. All right, Sammy, you said you had a secondary long shots. Do we want to make this whole thing? Do you want to play the open and go crazy with it?
I think we should. I don't think we need to cheat our betting public.
Let's go wackadoodle with it. Go ahead, smash.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance
Say that me and his man.
with long shots.
Now, Steven on the YouTube chat is saying, I was told to bet the over on Atlanta, San Diego last night.
Steven,
what on earth?
Steven, look.
It was a 1-0 ball game. If you were listening yesterday, by the way, as soon as Sammy said over 7.5 or whatever it was, I said national TV Padres game. This is going to be a 1-0 game.
Steven,
that is a direct quote from yesterday's show.
Steven, it's fair criticism. Listen, I got to take it. All I know is that my soccer picks are money. Ronaldo and Haaland came through for us. I will never make that mistake again.
Today's soccer picks not looking so good. England Ghana tied.
Well, to be fair, you were the one that bumped it up to them winning by 3 goals.
Yeah, so far no one scored any goals.
So you're in with me on England too.
Sure.
All right. Guess what though? We're making it all back on the NBA draft tonight.
I love it.
Number 6 pick odds. I love what we're getting here. Michael Brown plus money plus 106. Michael Brown, very talented guard from the University of Louisville. Point guard, hasn't really gotten, again, any other year, a guy like Michael Brown, Darius Acuff are the talk of the draft. But because you have guys like Cam Boozer and Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonson, all these big names, by the way, that played at massive universities, Duke, Kansas, I guess BYU, but North Carolina with Caleb Wilson. These guys aren't getting the love, but Michael Brown Jr., very talented. I love what we're getting here. Plus 106. Sacramento at number 7 has been linked to him, but he didn't visit Sacramento. Told us a lot late in the draft process. Michael Brown is, I think, going to be a Brooklyn Net. The Brooklyn Nets are easily the worst roster in the NBA, and it's not even close. They just added Julius Randle, but they do not have a lot of talent there. They need a guy who can run the offense. This team is years away from competing run a little pick and roll with Julius Randle. I think Michael Brown at plus 106, some great odds we're getting to be the number 6 pick in the draft. Let's go right after that. Number 7 pick in the draft, Sacramento Kings. Minus 183, but I think these are good odds. Darius Acuff. This is, if he is there at Sacramento at 7, there is no shot that the Kings are not taking him. He is a De'Aaron Fox clone. Maybe not De'Aaron Fox in the NBA Finals this year, but overall, De'Aaron Fox back in the day with Sacramento, amazing offensive player. That's what kind of made him into the name he is, and why the Spurs ended up trading for him. Darius Acuff was a guy who averaged high 20s at Arkansas, coached by John Calipari, went on a little bit of a run in the tournament despite not having a very talented roster around him. I think Darius Acuff is going to be a star. Too much has been made about the fact that he doesn't play defense because of his body. There's a lot of guys in this league who don't play a lot of defense. Luka Doncic doesn't play a lot of defense. Nikola Jokic doesn't play a lot of defense. Hell, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander doesn't play a lot of defense. The team around him plays defense. I think they're going to turn this card in fast. Give me minus 183 on the money line. He's the number 7 pick. And then we're going to go Isaiah Evans for all my Laker fans out there. Isaiah Evans, the Knicks are actually the favorite to land him, the shooting guard out of Duke tonight. But the Lakers are plus 583. This is worth a sprinkle. I think the Lakers at pick number 25 snatch up Isaiah Evans. The Lakers at the end of the first round are simply looking for the most talented player. Ideally, they would like a big, but Mara and all of the bigs, I believe, are going to be gone by the time the Lakers are picking. Go with the guy in Isaiah Evans at Duke that didn't get the headlines because of Caden Boozer and Cam Boozer and all the other talented players for the Blue Devils. He's would have been, but Dalton Knecht ended up flaming out in the NBA, at least so far. Isaiah Evans, this is a perfect fit alongside Luka Doncic. I think plus 583 to go to the Lakers is a... So, plus 106, Michael Brown going number 6 to the Brooklyn Nets. I like minus 183, Darius Acuff, guard out of Arkansas, going to the Sacramento Kings. I think the Lakers snatch up Isaiah Evans late, plus 583 odds there. I think they get him.
Well, that'd be pretty sweet if they do. That'd be a nice little payout.
I think we're finding some value late.
Look at Drafty Sammy. I like it a lot. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We're just about done for today. Ghana, England tied 0-0. You just got some NBA draft picks from Sammy. We'll see if those are winners tomorrow. Now, I will be doing the show from Arizona. What's today? Today, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Thursday, Friday this week. I will be doing the show from Arizona. I'm going to go visit the iHeart studios out there. It's my father-in-law's retirement party.
High rolling out in Paradise Valley.
Hell yeah, brother. So, but what's really cool is, do you know what just opened up for the first time ever in Arizona?
No.
Buc-ee's. So tomorrow night's dinner will be at a gas station called Buc-ee's. I can't wait for it.
There's so many good places in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, and Paradise Valley, and you choose to go to Buc-ee's.
They're not Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's. Have you ever been to a Buc-ee's?
I think so.
You would know if you went to a Buc-ee's.
I think I knew, but
no, you would know if you went to a Buc-ee's.
Not for the reasons that
Buc-ee's is a Texas staple. It is a gas station that serves brisket and has a whole smoked meat section. It is like literally the greatest gas station on this planet. You're silly if you would say, I think I've been to Buc-ee's. You would know if you've been to a Buc-ee's. They're opening up one in Arizona.
Poor
Actually,
Kendall.
just opened over the weekend.
Is she happy to go to Buc-ee's?
Kendall is so excited to go to Buc-ee's. This is like huge. This is big news, Sammy. It's right off the I-10 on the way out to Arizona. Can't wait for it. That's tomorrow night's dinner. I thought it was tonight. I got kind of excited for a second, but it's tomorrow. Sammy's coming up next.
What happened to that diet?
It's Buc-ee's, dude. It's vacation. Diet doesn't count on vacation. Everyone knows that. I'm getting a 3-meat sandwich, dude. That thing's gonna be stacked to the gills. What you got coming up over the next hour, Sammy?
I got Eric Sklar coming up at 2:30 from Hoops Talk channel, talking a little NBA ahead of the draft tonight. Going to get into these Padres a little bit and kind of go around the world of sports. We got a lot going on in the next hour.
I will see you, Manana. We will have more tickets to Britt Floyd tomorrow and lots of fun coming up at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The Padres and Braves have game 2 of their series tonight down at Petco Park. It's going to be J.R. Ritchie going for the Braves and Griffin Canning going for the Padres. First pitch is at 6:40. The NBA draft is tonight at 5 o'clock. The Wizards have the number 1 pick. We'll see if there's any more fallout from the Giannis trade. World Cup scores. We got one final from earlier. Uzbekistan 5-0, and right now at halftime there's no score between England and Ghana. Taco Bell's Lux boxes, choose the $5, $7, or $9 box. Now with the new Fajita Street Chalupas, a limited time at participating stores while supplies last. Prices vary, freezes, and specialty drinks not included, tax extra.
Going long with Sammy.
That's going to be hot.
In depth on the story of the day. Plus, it's warm in the hot seat. Now, it's Sammy Long.
Brent Sperry. Giannis no more. Brent's got his Milwaukee Bucks hat, loud and proud today, repping it.
Still draft day, man.
No, I appreciate it. Plus, I think your Bucks, I'm surprised personally by the reaction around the trade in terms of Miami. Like Miami, I don't know about everyone else, but people today have been kind of pushing the narrative that Miami gave up too much to get it. I think this is a trade that both sides win. By the way, before we get into all that, I got Eric Sklar coming up from Who's Talk at 2:30, talking some NBA draft ahead of it tonight. We're getting the Padres in about 10 to 15 minutes, as well as the Brendan Sorsby news, the NFL icing him out. But let's start with Giannis. There's a lot been made today about, the Miami Heat depleted the roster. The Miami Heat have nothing to surround Bam and Giannis. And I just look at this as, I think the Bucks had a very solid trade. I think Miami had a very solid trade. Like, let's start with Miami. Miami gets its franchise cornerstone. We give so much credit to Sam Presti, the GM of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and what he's been able to do with OKC and all the draft picks and turning no-name guys, your AJ Mitchells, your Cason Wallaces into big-time players. But Pat Riley, you can make an argument. No one has done it better than Pat Riley over Pat Riley's career in the NBA, whether that was with the NBA or whether that was with the Lakers and then with the Miami Heat. He's also, for years, been trying to land his star. He traded for Shaq, traded for Alonzo Mourning, got Jimmy Butler. I mean, the Miami Heat went to 2 NBA finals against the Lakers and the Denver Nuggets. And Jimmy Butler was the best player on the team. Not a slight to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a fantastic player, but Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and a collection of late first-round draft picks, Duncan Robinson, Tyler Harrows, Jaime Jaquez. I mean, kind of scraps other teams didn't want or didn't value enough in the draft. And they had this package for years of guys, but they just never had the go-to guy. They pushed them over the top. Now with Giannis and Bam, this is going to be fantastic. They are going to play a brand of defense in the Eastern Conference that I think will have them towards the top. And on the Bucks side of things, Brian, I'm curious your thoughts as a big time Bucks fan, but I think the Bucks got back a pretty good haul. I mean, so much has been made today about the fact that the Boston Celtics offered 2 first-round picks as well as Jaylen Brown, and they chose the Miami Heat deal, which is Tyler Harrow, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Khalil Ware, Yakachunas, and 3 first-round picks as well as a second-round pick, future second-round pick, as well as a pick swap. I'm going with that package because Jaylen Brown is nothing for the Bucks. The Bucks aren't contending with Jaylen Brown on the team, whereas they might actually have a shot to become a contender in a few years if they build this a la Miami, a la Oklahoma City in a small market where you can just build through the draft and build winning players.
I thought both sides came out pretty good. Honestly, everyone, like you said, is kind of ripping on the Heat about, now it's just Bam and Giannis. They still got Andrew Wiggins. He'll probably re-sign. Norman Powell's there. So they got other guys that will fill out their starting 5. So I still don't think they'll be good enough, better than Boston or New York, but I think they'll probably be 3rd in the East and they'll have a shot.
It is how, right, we're going to give the Knicks the benefit of the doubt. The Knicks are the best team. They won the NBA Finals. They're going to bring almost everyone back. They should be the front runner. And then it really does, where we might get a great matchup next year of Miami and Boston with a shot to play the Knicks, because Boston, it's like, if you're Boston, where do you go from here now? Because you publicly wanted to trade Jaylen Brown. You made it very public in trying to acquire Giannis. You were trying to trade Jaylen Brown. A few years ago, if you remember, in 2022, after the championship, they were trying to pair Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown was a focal point of that deal. I'm sure Jaylen Brown's looking around going, what do I have to do? I mean, I'm finals MVP. I lock up Luka and Kyrie Irving, and I don't get selected for Team USA in favor of my teammates Jason Tatum and Derek White and Drew Holiday. And then they're trying to trade me left and right. And then this season, he has them in the playoff race, the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, when Jason Tatum comes back. Yes, I know the Celtics flamed out and weren't able to get past the Philadelphia 76ers and pulled a choke job, but you could just as equally blame that on Jason Tatum versus Jaylen Brown. So, like, where does this leave Jaylen Brown? We have some Sham sound, him talking earlier about, does this open things up for Jaylen Brown? Is Jaylen Brown now going to be shopped because the relationship has irreparable damage? Here's what Shams had to say earlier on Get Up.
Here. Greeny, at minimum, the Celtics and Jaylen Brown will have hard conversations moving forward about the fallout from a trade that didn't happen. The second time in 4 years, Jaylen Brown was offered in a trade for another player. Back in 2022, it was for Kevin Durant, a proposed package for KD. Now for Giannis. The difference between 2022 and right now is Jaylen Brown is coming off a year where he was a MVP finalist. Just 2 years ago, he was finals MVP, arguably one of the best players in the NBA. And the deal that the Celtics offered Milwaukee, Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected first-round picks, that was a deal that the Celtics believed was an aggressive pursuit. They went after Giannis at the deadline too. Obviously, no deal came to fruition. But the Celtics, my understanding is they were unwilling to put in young players like Hugo Gonzalez and Bayer Shireman or adding additional first-round picks or pick swaps. The Bucks wanted some combination of maybe a young player or two, maybe additional draft capital. The Celtics were not willing to do that. So you put your bid in, you get involved in this. I've had a few people tell me last night, you got to get a deal done if you're the Celtics when you put a player like Jaylen Brown on the table and on the line in this circumstance. So at minimum, there will be some fallout from this. Jaylen Brown is extension eligible with the Celtics in July. So a lot of answers, if he's still on the roster, will also be identified then.
Some hard talks, some heart to hearts with Jaylen Brown, the Boston Celtics. We're going to be talking about this for a long time because this deal, not only does the storyline of can Giannis win in South Beach? I firmly believe he can. I believe Pat Riley, outside of Sam Presti, and you can make an argument Pat Riley's better, is the perfect GM to be building out a roster to supplement Bam Adebayo and Giannis. Yes, right now, do they have the guard play to beat the Knicks or even beat Boston? Absolutely not. They don't have that right now. We'll see what happens with Norman Powell. Sounds like they may not be re-signing him and he could be heading elsewhere. But I mean, guys are going to want to come play with Giannis and Bam with the amount of shots they're going to create. They're going to be just fine. I like what the Bucks did a lot. I think they're building for the future. And it was smart not to go with just the headline of having Jaylen Brown. They went with the package that allows them to build for the future. A market like Milwaukee is not attracting big time stars over the Lakers, over Miami, over New York, over Chicago, over teams like that. They have to build a certain way. And Oklahoma City showed that you can do that. But Boston, I mean, it is like, what happens with those conversations? I mean, Jaylen Brown, for everything we just laid out, won them a title, has been greatly underappreciated, was in the MVP conversation, top 5 in voting, one of the best defensive players in the NBA, and has held things down for the Boston Celtics while Jason Tatum has been hurt. And now they're just supposed to sing Kumbaya and get back together in the Eastern Conference. The crazy thing is, if they did sing Kumbaya and Jaylen Brown goes, look, I'm committed to making it work with Boston, they're one of the best teams. And when the Vegas odds come out, the Knicks will be the favorite at the top. Then I believe it'll be Boston. And then I believe it'll be Miami in the Eastern Conference alone. So you're going to look at Boston and go, they do have one of the best rosters. I mean, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor Shireman, Peyton Pritchard, Cada. I mean, there's a lot of talent there, but will Jaylen Brown and the Celtics be able to put the beef aside? It again plays into, we talk about so much. We thought that the Celtics were going to be a dynasty. They haven't. We thought the Nuggets were going to be a dynasty. They haven't. The Thunder win a championship. They're going to rip off the next 10. They get beat the very next year. We think the Spurs are going to be a dynasty. The Knicks end up beating them. So the NBA's had a lot of parity. I love seeing big trades like this. And I got to be honest, as a Laker fan, I was praying for anybody but Boston. So thank you, Pat Riley, for still working things out for the Lakers and acquiring him to go to Miami and not Boston. Coming up next on the other side, Padres, big win last night. The bats were not alive. I'll give Manny Machado credit for the solo shot. Absolutely star pitching performance from Michael King. Have they turned a corner? We're going to get into that on the other side. Going long, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. Our iHeartRadio Music Festival is back. Live performances by the Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, Lainey Wilson, Snoop, Weezer, and more. September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena in Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. Now's your chance to buy tickets at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. Brent, what would your draft night outfit be? We're watching it right now on screen. We got a lot, Darius Acuff. He's got a lot of bling on. I think if you were getting drafted in the lottery, you definitely would have to have a chain on.
My big thing that I always liked was when they would have something inside their jacket.
Okay, yeah, so
they'd have like a design or something inside of their sports coat or whatever you want to call it, their suit. I'd probably get something in there. What? I have no idea, but that would be my wing. I'd focus on that over the chain.
Yeah. What's coming to mind right now. Remember the Ezekiel Elliott, the crop top? Now, if I had abs like that, I would 100% be wearing something like that. Like that's he's showing off the gym when he was getting drafted for the Cowboys. I mean, it was,
Yeah, but unless you're Dwight Howard, nobody in the NBA can really pull that off. Maybe old school, like old LeBron could.
Old LeBron. Yeah, Carmelo with the oversized suit back in the day.
Well, they all had oversized suits that year. If you go back and look at that draft year and their suits and everything, they all had the big like zoot suit looking thing.
Yeah. They're starting to pour in a couple hours out from the draft. So look at this. Yeah, you definitely, draft day. What's going through your head? Like, that's going to be crazy. Like, you're going to be living in this city for years. Your life's about to change. I love watching the draft just from like a fan perspective, but also it's just kind of cool watching stories get made and all that kind of stuff. But the San Diego Padres, 1-0 win last night. Give them a lot of credit. They won the game. That's what we needed. You needed to see a win. I am going to nitpick. I'm going to do it. It's our job. But at the end of the day, they're up 1-0 on the Braves, and that's a damn good baseball team. I know Acuna's out, but still, that's a really good baseball team who has had an argument that they maybe even over the Dodgers. They beat the Dodgers in a series earlier this year. Have been the best team in baseball all year. That was impressive. The Padres have shown us that they can win with an unbelievable pitching performance. It was very eerily similar to, if you remember, that first Dodger game at Petco Park. Felt like it was a month and a half ago when the Padres were atop the division. Michael King pitched against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and the Padres put up a show. King was exceptional, giving up no runs. Miller came in and closed the show, and Yamamoto, Andahar shelled him for that home run. It's great that the Padres have the ability in the bullpen, the pitching staff, to be able to shut things down. That's what AJ Preller had a vision for with his team, dating back to the Tanner Scott and Jason Adam deal, traded on a couple years ago, and then last year with Mason Miller and the development of Adrian Morejon and Estrada and all these guys. The way they won last night, and again, I want to reiterate that it's big time that they won, but that's not sustainable. Tonight feels like a big game because we've talked a lot about they've won games against teams in the NL. They won that first game against the Dodgers. They won one game against the Brewers. They won one game against the Cubs. They've won games against these teams. They just haven't closed the show and actually won series. A couple texters earlier were chiming in on the text line 70470. Start your message with team. Like, that's great and all, but you have to actually win the series. And I fully expect tonight that the Atlanta offense, which is one of the best in baseball, is going to come out firing. They're going to come out tonight. They're going to put runs up. And with Griffin Canning on the mound, if you got a shutout, tremendous. I hope I'm talking about tomorrow that Griffin Canning had an unbelievable outing and the Padres are up 2-0 in the series. But to expect that against a really good offense and Griffin Canning's been shaky all year, it's probably not going to happen. So it's up to the offense tonight. Can the offense come through and win a big time series at home that's needed? Because we've talked a lot about this schedule over the next few weeks. You get finishing out with the Braves here, Dodgers over the weekend, Cubs, Dodgers, then a 4-game set against the Diamondbacks. These next few weeks are really going to tell management, AJ Preller, whoever the hell's running the shots, the Silers, the Felicianos, whoever. You got to feel like Feliciano is going to have, and Kwanzaa Jones are going to have final say, even though they're not technically in yet because they're buying the team. Whether they're going to be buying at the deadline or selling. And these are the teams that you're going to have to beat in the NL. If what everyone's goal here in San Diego is to win a World Series, you're going to have to go through the Braves. You're going to have to go through the Dodgers, to the Phillies, to these teams. And can they string enough games together? Because it's great that they can win 1-0. Over 7 games in a postseason, you're going to have to out-hit the Braves. You're going to have to out-hit the Dodgers. And we haven't seen that yet. We saw the bats come alive over the weekend. It's nice seeing Manny Machado's home run numbers getting going. The big home run on Saturday night, big home run last night. But the offense has to come together, and especially at home. So like at home, there's no reason they should have scored 1 run last night. Shout out to the pitching staff for holding it down. But if they want to close out the series against Atlanta, they need to show out the next couple nights. And you do get a little bit of a break in the schedule in that I think, you're looking for at least one more win against the Braves over the weekend. If the Dodgers pitching, staff holds up, if they can always change it. Dave Roberts has done that to the Padres before where he's changed the starters last minute, but the Padres might have a pitching advantage on Friday and Sunday night. You're going to have Roki Sasaki going for the Dodgers, Emmett Sheehan. We'll get into that matchup a little bit later on this week, but Emmett Sheehan's been getting blasted recently for the Dodgers, and Roki Sasaki has been better after having a rough first couple months with the Dodgers, but has been really prone to the long ball, as evidenced by giving up a couple of home runs in his last start last Friday. So there's a pathway for the Padres to have a pretty decent record over the next week or so, but they're going to have to put the bat on the ball. It's as simple as that. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It can't just be Manny Machado or Miguel Andujar, one of these guys relying off a solo home run. It feels like a long cry from a long time ago when 2024, when the Padres' secret sauce, and maybe it was kind of their downfall that they relied on such small ball. And I certainly wasn't the biggest fan of it with Mike Schilt, but the Padres in that series against the Dodgers in 2024, when they went up 2-1 in the series, they were putting pressure on the base pass. It was constantly putting the opposing team's, the Dodgers pitchers under stress because they were just getting walks, getting on base constantly. We haven't seen an inning in a long time, I guess this weekend against the Rangers, but outside of that, where they've really strung together a consistent inning where they're putting pressure on the base pass and able to bring a lot of runs home. You're going to have to do that against the Braves. This is a big game tonight and tomorrow to at least go 2-3. There's no reason you should lose the series. But over the last couple months, we have seen the Padres falter after getting a big win against an NL team. And wins over the next couple weeks over the Braves and Dodgers will do a lot in AJ Preller going to the Felicianos and going, we want to add to this team. If the Padres have a bad record against the Braves and the Dodgers, and they've already, they're 0-6 against the Phillies so far this year. If they're not able to turn around the next couple of weeks, it's going to be a hard sell to the Felicianos to go all in when they're not going to be they're not beating the teams that they're going to have to beat to get to the promised land, which is the World Series. Coming up next, Eric Sklar, Hoops Talk. He's a producer on Hoops Talk with Alan Sliwa, as well as me, doing a lot of great work on there covering the Lakers. Got a little bit of an NBA draft preview ahead of it tonight, plus a look at Giannis and what free agency can unfold in the next week and what it means for the Lakers. That's next. Going long, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Verizon Straight Talk Wireless. Padres and Braves are getting set for game 2 of their series down in Petco Park. It's going to be J.R. Ritchie going against Griffin Canning. First pitch tonight is at 6:40. The NBA draft is tonight at 5:00. The Wizards have the number 1 pick. Speaking of drafts, or drafts that are never going to happen, the NFL said no to the supplemental draft, so Brendan Storsby is just going to have to wait until next year. We got one World Cup final today. Portugal was all over Uzbekistan 5-0, and right now England and Ghana have no score. It's tied at 0 apiece. Every now and then you find a deal that actually feels like a win with Straight Talk Wireless. You get more and pay less. Now that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. All on Verizon's 5G network. Find it at the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little heat. Getting warm around here.
Light the fires, Big Daddy.
Who's next in the hot seat?
The Duke of Sports, that is his Twitter handle. Eric Sklar, working with KFI, with the John Cobalt Show. And even crazier, he has to game plan with Alan Sliwa every morning. So the first face he sees every morning is Alan Sliwa. Eric, what our listeners would love to know? What goes into that?
Yeah, well, he definitely is the first face I see in the morning. So it's a good way to start my morning. I'll just say that.
Oh, he's being too kind. Eric Sklar doing great work for Hoops Talk. Eric, so we got a lot to get to. So let's start with the Giannis trade before we get to the draft tonight. But Giannis headed to Miami, and the whole fact of Jaylen Brown being offered from the Celtics and them electing to go with the Miami offer. What do you make of the trade? Do you think Miami gave up too many assets?
No, I think when you're giving up a player, or when you're trying to get a player like Giannis, you got to give up a lot. I mean, he's a former MVP, he's a champion, and he's a franchise cornerstone player. And so I'm not surprised that Miami had to give up so much. I'm more surprised that it was a 1-to-1 deal right off the bat in terms of Milwaukee and Miami. Now, I know Sham said he reported that the deal can't be completed until July 6th because of financial reasons and salary cap structure reasons and all of that. But that's going to give an opportunity for teams to hop in and maybe see if they can sweeten the pot for either a Milwaukee or a Miami in terms of the return that they're getting. And obviously in today's NBA with the apron structure and the salary cap and luxury tax and all of that, teams are going to want some financial relief. And so that might be a way to ease the financial constraints for a team like Miami taking on a salary of a Giannis Antetokounmpo.
It's going to be a fun storyline next year because I think Miami is going to be good. We'll see how they outfit the roster, but Pat Riley certainly has shown he can develop young talent. But the other team in the deal, the Boston Celtics, offering Jaylen Brown, they don't get Giannis. Do you see Jaylen Brown possibly being on the move, or if he stays, who do you have higher expectations for, Miami or Boston next season?
I don't know how. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, Jaylen Brown's getting paid 9 figures, hundreds of millions of dollars. So it's like, if he's got to come back to the Boston Celtics, he's under contract and he's got to. I don't see how they can reconcile after all of these trade rumors that have swirled around with Jaylen Brown being connected to the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade for so long. And obviously with the way last season went, with Jaylen Brown starting the season without Jason Tatum because Jason Tatum was recovering from his Achilles injury, Jaylen Brown leading the Boston Celtics to one of the best starts in NBA, the top of the Eastern Conference for a minute there. And then obviously Jason Tatum comes back and basically picks up right where he left off. And then the conversations revert back to who's the 1A, 1B, who's better, Tatum versus Brown, like Boston has had for the last few years since they were in the championship, and Jaylen Brown was the finals MVP over Jason Tatum. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jaylen Brown. I think Boston ultimately ends up trading him Do I think he starts the season with Boston and maybe ends up getting traded by the deadline? I think that's probably more likely, but we'll see.
It is kind of funny how disrespected he is. Like you touched on it. I mean, this guy was the Finals MVP, and it feels like whether it was them trying to get Kevin Durant or trying to get Giannis, they've certainly.
He's always been the chip for them. Like he's always been the piece that they've dangled out for teams. Like, hey, come get Jaylen Brown if we're interested in your big player. It's very interesting because Tatum. I mean, you could argue either one of them would any team would want to start their team with right now.
Well, that's what I was getting to. Like it's odd that at least publicly, maybe this is privately, but it hasn't even been thrown out there that Jason Tatum wouldn't be the trade chip that's thrown out there. And it just seems like Jason Tatum is automatically the franchise star, and yet Jaylen Brown held it down for them for a majority of last season.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't think they're going to be able to reconcile. Like, yes, it is a business at the end of the day, and Jaylen Brown's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars, like I said, but he is human too, and he's got feelings. So it'll be interesting to see if he just demands a trade out of Boston now, because he easily could. I mean, we've seen star players demand trades every summer, basically.
Flipping to the Lake Show, it kind of went under the radar yesterday because of the Giannis news. Julius Randle heading to Brooklyn and Nick Claxton going to Chicago. What that kind of means for the Lakers, both the Bulls and the Nets were expected to be interested in Austin Reeves. Maybe not so much now because they've dealt, took a hit on their cap space a little bit. Do you see the Lakers as just kind of now bidding against themselves for Reeves, or do you think there's other suitors out there for AR?
No, I think there's still going to be other suitors out there. I know, obviously, it's the Lakers, the Bulls, and the Nets that everyone's been talking about having the most cap space. But we've seen salary cap gymnastics by plenty of teams. I mean, Detroit's a team that could offload some salaries to create some space for themselves. Denver's in a financial situation where they're going to have to shed some salaries. Oklahoma City's got to shed some salaries. Obviously, they're trying to get under the tax, and they're in a bit of a little bit different situation. But, I mean, GMs and president of basketball operations these days are creative on the salary gymnastics they can pull. So the Lakers, I don't think they can operate from a position of thinking they're just going to be negotiating against themselves now against Austin Reeves, because, I mean, Alan's talked about it. We've talked about it. Austin Reeves might not be valued the same by Laker fans as the rest of the league. Like, other teams are going to want Austin Reeves on their team, no matter if he's making $40+ million next season. He's a valuable asset in the NBA today. So it's like the Lakers can't just like put their hands behind their head and just be like, all right, yep, here's our deal and take it or leave it kind of situation. They're going to have some serious negotiations, I think.
It is. You don't want to lose him for nothing. And maybe
100%.
Maybe it doesn't work alongside Luka. I think it can, but Austin Reeves certainly a tradable player in that he's a really good scorer, ball handler that a lot of teams that have a lot of defense would want. What was the reaction? We don't know yet, but it does seem like maybe LeBron is trending toward coming back to LA. Does that excite you, or are you a little ready to be done with the LeBron era in Los Angeles?
I wouldn't say I'm ready to be done with the LeBron era in Los Angeles on the pure fact that he's going to make the team better next year. All things considered, if injury aside, like obviously we know he's going to be 42, but like the team, like you're not going to be able to find a player on the open market in this free agency class that's going to give you 27-7 every single night. You're just not going to find that on the open market right now. And so as long as he is back on a financially responsible contract where the Lakers have flexibility to build out their roster, I'm fine with LeBron coming back. I also understand from his position of like, if I don't get the max, I'm going to go elsewhere. It's like, okay, if the Lakers aren't going to give you the max and you think you can go get the max somewhere else, go get the max somewhere else. There aren't that many places that can give you the max.
Right.
So you're obviously going to have to settle for less. And so it comes down to what he's comfortable with. And so I think the Lakers need to give him, like, the negotiations for Austin Reeves and the negotiations for LeBron James need to go very differently. There needs to be strong negotiations with Austin Reeves, and there's probably going to be a lot of back and forth conversation. With LeBron, the Lakers just need to give him an offer and be like, take it or leave it. And it better be like 20, 25, no more than $30 million for next season.
Yeah, they can't bring him back on a max level salary. Eric Sklar at the Duke of Sports, contributor on Hoops Talk with Alan Slewa. With the NBA draft tonight, so the saga, will Peterson go one? Will DeBonsta go one? Seems like the betting markets are leaning to DeBonsta. Is there a player in this draft class, maybe in the lottery or a little bit down, that you think is maybe not getting talked about enough?
Well, I think I'm gonna go a Lakers route here, because I think the player that isn't getting talked about enough is a guy that I think the Lakers could use, and I think that's Henry Visar from North Carolina, the big man from Estonia. He was at he was at Arizona for his first 2 years in college, and then played at North Carolina this past season. 17 points, almost 9 rebounds a game, just over 1.2 blocks per game. He's a stretched big. He can shoot the three. He was 42.6% from three this past season. And so I think if the Lakers do pick at number 25, this is someone that they should definitely consider. I know there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of days about Jaden Quintons, Terrace Reed, Quintons from Kentucky and Reed from UConn, as guys that the Lakers could take. But my thinking is, if Luka's putting pressure on the front office to go get an A-list center, I'm thinking a guy like Jalen Duren or Walker Kessler is who the Lakers have their eyes on. We got Jackson Hayes most likely coming back. He just got his Slovenian citizenship. He's going to go play on the national team with Luka once Luka comes back to the national team. Those two bigs, like a Walker Kessler and a Jalen Duren versus a Jackson Hayes, those are two different archetypes. And then if they draft someone like Visar, a stretch big, Luka can work in the pick and roll, pick and pop with him. Visar is a finisher on the basket. He can shoot from the outside. And so having 3 different types of big men for Luka, I think could be very beneficial for the Lakers in the long run. And Visar grew up in Europe. He played in the system. So who knows if Luka has maybe put in a good word to the Lakers front office, because he knows what that Real Madrid system is like growing up in it as well. I think Visar is someone people should look out for the Lakers taking at number 25 if they hold on to that pick.
I like it. Eric Sklar, working with KFI up there, and a contributor Hoops Talk with Alan Slewa. Eric, you're the best, brother. Well, we'll talk again soon. All right.
Yes, definitely. Thanks for having me, Sammy. Appreciate you.
Eric Sklar. Again, go follow him at the Duke of Sports. Yeah, excited for this NBA draft tonight. I think the NBA draft, this is a rare year where the NFL draft has, I mean, you're picking hopefully a star in round 1. You're picking expected starters or massive contributors in round 2 and 3. And then we see guys on day 3, 4 through 7, and undrafted guys in the NFL pop all the time. The NBA draft over the years can get a little, after the first few picks, you're kind of taking shots in the dark, but this NBA draft tonight is fun in that I think if you have a lottery pick, you're expecting a starter tonight. Like the Peterson and DeBonsta and Boozer and all these guys getting the headlines at the top, but there are some really talented players getting pushed down this board that I think we could see some guys at the end of the first round pop this year, where we don't always see that in the NBA draft. All right. Slewa, Schaefer on the other side, little crossover action. Text line already jumping in going, Sammy, whose face would you rather see each morning, Allen's or Fletcher's? That is a tough decision. Allen Slewa or Ben Fletcher? We go with neither. They're going to be on the other side. San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Text line chiming in on a conversation with Eric Sklar. 619 says LeBron for Jaylen Brown. Let's be done with this. SoCal Jayhawk.
Was Eric just on?
Yeah.
Oh, go work, Eric.
Eric,
All right,
holding
Eric.
things down. We were talking about you a little bit.
There you go, Eric.
Eric, who was on?
Eric
Sklar.
produces the show in the morning over there on Hoops Talk. Hoops Talk.
Eric
You
Spolstra
and
live.
Spolstra just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Call
I'd
South
promote
Beach
that.
Connections. But yeah, Eric's the man. Come on. How you boys doing today?
We're good, dude. Are we good, Alan?
Yeah, I think we're good.
We're good.
We were yelling in the room we were prepping in as if John and I both grew up in Ghana. And I don't even know why I don't even have any hate on England. I want to see England advance, but I'm just rooting for Ghana.
So we actually in long shots not looking good. We had England to win by 3 goals, but
you're
got
fine.
Oh, Jesus.
I got distracted on air. I was talking, and when Ghana almost scored.
Can I make a point about this that Alan has also made and Mark Ziegler made with us yesterday? I will say this knockout round is taking a lot of time.
It takes a little while.
It's a significant length of time. By the way, England nearly scored 3 goals on that possession. I kid you not. Did you see that?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Alan, you just missed. The dude hits the post. The dude then shoots it over the net wide open. Look at this.
I thought what was interesting though, I heard your Ziegler conversation yesterday when he was not a big Messi fan, by the way. But I heard him talking about how some of these goals, like Messi getting 5 goals,
Right, he's not doing
Mbappe,
it against the same
Holland,
level. Right.
because there's more teams involved, it's not the same competition. Now, I think I'd rather see Mbappe and Messi and these guys scoring goals than not scoring goals.
Right.
But it will be interesting as they get to the knockouts if some of this goes down when the competition steps up.
Here's what Ziegler said yesterday that bothered me, but he was right.
Okay.
There's too many countries, obviously, in the tournament. Like obviously the 48 is a lot of countries. So you're gonna get countries that are in it
that
have no business playing Argentina, have no business playing France, have no business. But I was about to say, wait. So you might have 1 or 2 countries that surprise. Of course, that's going to happen.
Right. But the other
16. But the reality is that it's probably too much. Now, I'm going to still sit on I like the format. I like the games. I like having 4 games on a day.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it as well. But it's going to take a while until, you start looking at, hey, these are powerhouse matchups. You might get a couple in the round of 32, but you're really not going to get it till the round of 16.
It's a good point.
The Cristiano Ronaldo had a couple goals today. Portugal got it back up there. Fletcher and I were kind of going back and forth about this. There's a chance that Messi and Ronaldo meet in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
Argentina, Portugal. Is that the most hyped matchup in the World Cup? Like, could that be the best possible matchup? Like, obviously, you got USA, England.
What about US? Well, here's the most hype for me.
Now but talk about the world. What's your most
for
our listeners? The best possible matchup, in my opinion, would be USA Mexico.
I agree.
Now you could throw USA Argentina in there against the defending champs if you
that would be interesting.
The defending champs, they have Lionel Messi, but I think US Mexico, and I don't even know when they could meet.
It would be pretty far.
England is likely going to meet Mexico. I think it was the final 4 is when they would meet.
Okay.
They would meet. USA, Mexico couldn't meet until the final 4.
All right.
That might be the best matchup for us here in the States.
Yes, exactly.
But the best matchup in the world is Argentina, France again.
Rematch.
It's Mbappe and Messi again.
What about Spain?
Spain's in there.
They don't have Mbappe.
What about
Lamine
Yamal? What about though? I'm going to go England, the US. It's
US.
the 250th anniversary,
right.
number 1. And number 2, you have Balogun, the star striker, who reason
chose the US, right?
Chose the US over England because his mom gave birth in Brooklyn because she was too pregnant to get on a flight back to England.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
interesting story.
If Balogun is the reason why the US advances and shows America over, I think there's a lot of layered storylines.
Yeah, a lot of Americans that are interested in that for a week.
Oh, please.
I mean, potentially, like what?
That's going to be exciting.
What would it mean? Like if the U.S. made a semifinal, which, by the way, is not outside the realm at this point. They'll be favored in the round of 32 and the round of 16.
Right.
So they would have to basically win a quarterfinal game.
I would pump the brakes on that. Think about that.
But just think, like, what would it mean?
But just
I think it would mean a lot for the development.
Think about what we're trying to say. I agree with you. By the way, I think it would be huge. But think about what you're saying about USA in a Final 4 in a World Cup. Like that.
Well, it would create excitement. It would create soccer going forward. I think the fact that
it would
the US
be huge.
is scoring now
It would be huge.
Like the last World Cup, they had 3 goals in 4 games. That's not exciting. So you're trying to draw average people in who don't watch soccer all the time. This has been exciting. They scored 4 goals the first game, 2 in the second. Like they're putting points on the board, and I think it would change. Like it certainly captivated, I think, the U.S. the way that the hockey team did.
Do you know
in the Olympics?
What would be just as important as a run to get to the Final Four is you got young athletes that choose soccer over one of these other sports,
like football, basketball.
Yeah,
baseball.
because if you can create this, we obviously got plenty of NFL athletes, plenty of NBA athletes, plenty of Major League Baseball athletes. But if you just were able to grab 5% of those athletes and say, hey, I want to go play soccer. Look at this run. I'm 8 years old. I'm 10 years old. That's just as important as getting fans into it.
Right. Totally.
I say just win it. I just say win it.
Yeah,
win the whole thing. Win the whole thing.
250th anniversary.
Yep.
Do it for the U.S. Do it for George Washington.
Just win it.
If you can't win it, and
today?
if you can't, just buy it. You know what I mean?
There
Like,
you go.
just take.
I like that.
We got a little inflation. Taxes are a little high, but we'll just buy it.
We're talking Braves baseball.
Yeah.
Padres and Braves are the beat writer for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and we're talking about the NBA draft. Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report.
Listen for all that. We'll be back tomorrow at 12, reacting to the NBA draft and Padres Braves game 2. Keep listening to these guys on the other side.